Hi. Hello. Welcome to Normal America Show. Host robnoerr. Oh boy, what a great Thursday night. You guys having a good night? I'm having a great night. I hope you all are as well. We're here, man. We did it. Another night. I don't know what to say other than exciting news, or not really exciting, about tomorrow's show. It'll be different. Whoa. Oh, we got like a wow. We got the vegan crews coming in now talking shit. I didn't say anything about it. They just assume I eat meat because I'm fat. That's terrible. That's ableist or something. Damn vegan crew. Oh boy. Uh. Oh yeah, it was just gonna be a whip stream. To be honest, you know, I can think of worse things. Not many, but some. Oh man. What a day. So I I was a good neighbor today. I tried to mow my neighbor's yard. We got like this thing coming up in my town that's called Mayfest. It's the town right up the way, actually. So everybody's yard wants to look good because there's a bunch of people coming through. So I was helping. Hey, real quick. Hey, vegan guy. I don't mind you being here for real, and you could argue with people, but spamming quotes ain't gonna be it, man. So, not just cut it back on the spamming quotes. It's one thing if it's like germane to a conversation you're having, but you just spanned like you're spamming just bullshit here. I mean, come on. Be reasonable, sir. Or ma'am. Or zer or z. I don't know what the fuck you are. But anywho, so it's mowed my neighbor's yard. Like something happened with his mower. So I got on top of it. So that was good. Um and then tomorrow night I won't be able to stream because festivities. Festivities. So I'm going to stream tomorrow during the day instead. We're going to do a debate review, I think. Yeah, man, I heard about that. I'm not a big uh, NASCAR fan or anything, but Kyle Busch, racer, just won a race like in the truck series, I don't know, a week ago. And apparently had like a sudden medical emergency and passed away. So it's no good. I think he was the same age as me, 41. Terrible. So prayers out to Kyle Busch and his family. That's terrible news. Uh, really, really a bummer. Makes you think, doesn't it? Every day we're here, truly a blessing. Uh, truly is. Um, everyone is doing well, I think, Micah. I am. I'm at least doing well. Did the extravaganza with the great Jake Rattlesnake today. That was fun. He's traveling, so his internet sucked, but died of a sinus infection, then G4. Is that what they're saying? I just heard it was a sudden illness. Yeah, it's a bummer. All accounts for he seemed like a decent guy. Obviously, I don't know much about NASCAR, uh, but it's a real bummer. It really is. Um, I have another crazy situation. I have two crazy situations to tell you about, and then we'll jump into the stories that I want to talk about tonight. First crazy situation is tomorrow is my son's last day of school, so we picked him up at school, and he really wanted to get like a present for his teacher because this will be the last day of preschool, and so we went out to the Walmart and we got some flowers and some couple lotto tickets, and then he made her a dinosaur sticker book. Bless her, what would be pleased. Uh, so it looks cool. Look, it's Jones's been to Mayfest. There you go. All right, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. What's some? I'm reading like 3 things in the chat, 3 different conversations. I'm sorry. So we went out, and I asked him, I said, hey, we're going out. And I knew I had to do the extravaganza, so I was like, let's go out and get dinner beforehand. We'll have an early dinner. Where do you want to go? And he picked Pizza Hut. Now, on the off shot that our waitress from Pizza Hut is watching, I'm going to talk trash on you a little. And I'm sorry. And I know you were probably trying to do good. But I have to just say, have you ever had this? We had the waitress that was overly talkative. We are the only people in Pizza Hut, and she just kind of talked to us like the whole time, like just set up shop. And it's kind of weird. Does anyone else, you get a little like, just trying to enjoy dinner with my family. And it was something. I'm not trying to be a dick. She seemed like a nice lady, but man, it was, and she brought my son a present, which was $2. Now, on one hand, very nice. But if you think about it, is it? Like, I feel like the waitress giving the husband and wife with a 5-year-old kid, giving the kid $2 is the same strategy as the waitress flirting with the single guy. Right? It's like, right? It's clearly designed to be like, how about that tip? Right? It was, I'm like, and, needless to say, we were ready to go. It was this thing. I don't know. I get it. Like, you probably, I would not be surprised if this Pizza Hut's on the way out. It's weird. I was reading this thing about Pizza Hut the other day, actually, and about this guy that's making them like the old Pizza Huts. And this other guy was explaining why the Pizza Hut model was the sort of family dining together, the old decor, the red cups, the arcade machine that was in there. They'd have the salad bar. It was sort of designed for like a lower middle class dinner with the family, like eating there. Pizza Hut wasn't a big delivery chain. That was Domino's. Domino's had the technology and stuff to be like focused on delivering pizzas. You could pick pizzas up at Pizza Hut, but mainly it was not really a big delivery thing. And that's the way it was around here. There's no older style Pizza Hut around me that I know. And now they're sort of transitioning away from that, and they're going more to the like delivery model. And it's not working out for them, and they're really losing their share. So I still like that. I'm a simple man. Like, for me, Pizza Hut's a nice dinner out, And I was all bummy because I really wanted to just have a nice dinner with my family and just like have some pizza and talk, and it didn't go that way. So there's bummer 1. Then bummer 2, and I forgot about this until literally 30 seconds before I started the stream. They're working on the water lines in my town, and I don't have water tonight. Now, luckily, I had filled up my jug right before they shut the water off at like 9 o'clock. I filled up one of them. And I went in to fill up my jug like I always do before. And no water. So here I am. Hopefully I don't have like a horrible like stomach issue where I have to use the restroom, or it's supposed to be off until like 8 a.m. tomorrow. So thanks a lot. I'm going to blame the lack of donos somehow. Thanks to you all and the lack of donos. Now the water company's pissed. No, it's just they sent us like a notice like 3 weeks ago. They're working on lines or something for the night. And got to get the town ready for Mayfest, baby. So So the plan tonight was I was going to review a debate, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow. So we'll probably stream around noon tomorrow, and it's going to be a bit different. I'll explain it at the end of the show or tomorrow. I'm not going to interact with the audience much. I'm going to do this, take that up, and I'm going to do it with the intent of my editor Black Elk's just going to clip that section, and hopefully it'll be like an hour review of a debate. Oh yeah, we got lefty drama coming on. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. It's coming. I even invited someone on the show, but I don't think it's going to work out. That's all right. You're living in a tent, Urban Squatch? Because you can't afford to live anywhere else, or because it's fun? That's a game I play, by the way. Me and my wife play. If you see someone walking down the street, we like to play, are they walking because they want to, or are they walking because they have to? You know. Thanks, Yellman. I appreciate it. It's a fun game to play. So that's, if you tell me you're living in a tent, is that because you want to live in a tent, or is that because you have to live in a tent? Because if it's because you have to live in a tent, that's terrible, and I'm so sorry. If it's because you're an urban camper or something, it's a fun thing to do, that's awesome. I hope you're having a good evening. So, yeah, right. It's like a very rich person or a very poor person's. Yeah, that's a fun game. We like to do that. You walk down the street and, oh, really? My eyebrows look good? Oh, hell. Hot damn! Wow. I did see that allegation. I haven't commented on it because these things waffle with the supposed peace deals. But yeah, oil prices are declining. That is true. It's all right. Rob, you have no idea why someone walks because you can't. Really? Wow, look at me go. I'm walking. I'm walking here. Now, I'm all for fat jokes and shit. I really am. But does this one even make sense? First off, even if I couldn't walk, I could see someone walking and have an understanding of why they're walking. Do you think that, paraplegics are like, what is that? What's happening here? Why is that person using those appendages to move from one location to the other? I have no clue why they would do that. Secondly, I mean, people quite clearly see me get up to walk many times. Maybe you've never seen me run. Maybe you could be like, you probably can't run. But I don't know. Weak attempt, my friend. Back to the drawing board for you. No problem, Motorlucas. You could do better. There's a lot of meat on the bone, so to speak, for fat jokes for me. You're going to get it. I am. I just haven't. Really, it's all AI. My legs are AI, and I'm just on one of those rascals, just like, yeah. It's. I've been losing weight, you fuckers. Anyways, I'm trying to get better. I really am. But, riding on the shoulders of a little person. Yeah, smart. Can't walk well. Now we're talking. I feel like I'm a reasonable walker. I'm slow as shit. Like running, I've never been a fast runner. And I certainly don't have a lot of stamina for running. But walking, I'm okay. I'm okay with walking. I got it down pat. You want to hear something horrible? But I guess this is... How did I get on this? You want to hear something horrible about me? That of all the things that my wife didn't want me to pass on to my son, there's two things biological. One is shoulder hair. I do have a lot of shoulder hair. I mean, I have back hair in general, but it definitely comes up the shoulder. So that's one. She's hoping my son doesn't get shoulder. And then the other thing is, and I'm probably about to lose half of my viewers here. I sort of walk on my toes. I don't know. There you go. When I was like a kid, they had me to the doctor. I don't know what it is. So yeah, that's the thing. There, Micah gets it. There's one other one out there. And so my son's like kind of does that, and yeah, my hamstrings are weak because of it, but my calves are fucking huge. You know? Yeah, we mentioned Kyle Busch. It's terrible. Prayers to his family, man. Yeah. The toe walking doesn't help your diabetes. No. It's an autistic. It probably is an autistic thing. I'm autistic. People, you can't. I'm allowed to say what I want because I'm autistic, right? Ah, there we go. Max Reddick. Yeah, there we go. Now we're chasing out. The garbage is leaving. They're leaving. We're clearing them out. Let's read super chats and get the show going. John Smith, $5. If you put an animal in coma before you eat it, it's technically a vegetable at that point. Interesting. Nice. Micah Eglin, $5 says, for a continued good evening, thank you, fellow toe walker. And then gifts 5 memberships. Thank you so much, man. Naughty Germ, $5. Thank you as always, my friend. Always appreciate it. Joseph Romano, $5. Blessings upon you. And John Smith again, $5 says, Rob, did you get your eyebrows did? Why do they look fleek right now? No God, no cap. On God, no cap, fam. I understood half those words. When I go get my hair cut, I do have them trim my eyebrows because they get out of hand. But that was 3 weeks ago. The great Jim Hayes, the Chad of the month. Give it up for the Chad of the month, Jim Hayes. That's right. Official Chad of the month song for him. Give it up. Thank you, Jim. $20. I said, Rob, thank you for everything. Stay strong, brother. Not one step back. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Jabroni big time. $5 says, my neighbor and I play an old guy. My neighbor and I play old guy or drive-by when we hear an ambulance. Both are equally likely while we leave. Yeah, there's no drive-bys here. So, but that's a fun game, yeah. Max Reddick, $5 says, a better joke would have been, I loved you in Wally. Love you, Rob. Yeah, there were some dudes that look like me in Wally. That's not a good thing. And then John Smith, $2 says, friggin' toe walker, that set him out no more. Won't let the door hit you on your flat-footed ass on the way out, huh? How about that? Oh, shoot. I did something. I don't want to do that. There we go. All right. Well, I sort of have a hodgepodge of stories to talk about tonight. I would love for some lefty to call in and me to fucking wreck them in a debate. That would be peak tonight. I feel it. I feel that's what I want to do. I just want to wreck someone. That'd be great. Some lefty. I mean, I could beat up on a right winger too if you want, but I would prefer not to. Pennsylvania governor's race. Stacey. Oh, you're a big Stacey Garrity fan. Yeah, I'll be reaching out to her campaign here shortly and seeing what I can do to help out in my local area. I actually know Stacey. I've met her many times. She ran against me in 2019 in the special election for District 12. That's where I met her. And yeah, she was the treasurer for Pennsylvania, for the GOP in Pennsylvania. Very nice lady. It's going to be an uphill battle. Josh Shapiro is going to be a real tough candidate to beat. He's got aspirations to run for president at some point. He's definitely, I got a stick on me from when I was mowing. He's definitely got a lot of things going for him. He's a good talker. He really is. The state could be far worse without him. So it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough race for Stacey to run, but it's doable. It really is, and it's really would be a big blow to the Democrats if she could take out in this governor's race someone that they're hoping has a chance to have presidential aspirations as sort of a more moderate Democrat. So, yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah, I agree. He's garbage. I remember what he did under COVID as the attorney general. So Vita, $2 says, did you hear Counterpoints is getting a divorce? I did not hear that. Conor. I don't like Conor at all. I think he sucks. But from the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am. I don't wish a divorce on anyone. That's tough. So you won't hear me mock his situation with anything like that. I don't care for the guy, but maybe they'll reconcile or something. I don't know, but it's no good. Yeah. Well, he's a lefty. He's basically a lefty, but my feeling on these things is even these fucking people, some of them are horrible. Like Conor threatened to whoop my ass. He's gonna fight me when he sees me. Ironically, allegedly, because I said shit about his wife. Just to be clear, my rule on this is pretty simple. I don't talk shit on people's family unless they are talking shit on me. And Conor's wife, I don't know, kept accusing me of blowing Donald Trump. It was like over and over on social media on X. She just constantly mentioned me and like blowing dudes. And so then I pushed back in like sort of the mildest way. I was like, what's your infatuation with me and sexual organs? You trying to say something? Say it. It's nothing, and Conor didn't really seem to be upset about it. He was just like, yeah, I told her if you're going to come at people, they'll come at you. And then, of course, later, when he was on Sarah Tomato's panel and I went on and was calling him out for the crazy radical fucking shit he says, he got all tough guy on me and was like, if you ever said shit like that in person, I'd whoop your ass. You talk shit to my wife and blah, blah, blah. But still, the idea of fucking someone going through a divorce, that doesn't... I want these people's ideas crushed into oblivion, but I don't wish that sort of terrible shit. Now, if you're a fucking heinous criminal, and you're some serial killer or something, I'm not going to lament that your wife's like, okay, dude, I'm divorcing you now that you're going to prison. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's fine. We're talking some lefty trauma. So that's a good place to start, I guess. I don't know. I feel like some of these people that I see online, I feel like they have a little unhinged streak to them, some of them. And you wonder how that impacts, for me, I mean, who's to say? Maybe I'll be divorced in a year. I don't know. I'm very happy with my marriage. I hope my wife is. She seems to be. I love my life and my wife and my kid. I absolutely do. But for me, I could certainly be someone that's ranting and raving on here. I have people tell me all the time, Rob, you'd be much better if you were more stoic. Yeah, sometimes I wear my emotions on my sleeve a little, but I don't know what to say other than I am pretty good at compartmentalizing. I could come on here and yell at some lefty or someone in a debate, and then I shut this off and I go downstairs and I'm not thinking about it or talking about it. I'm doing family stuff. And so I wonder, though, some people that get really animated and really worked up on screen, do they take that into their personal life? And does that affect, like, maybe you're going into your job in an hour, or if you're super amped up yelling at people online, And a lot of these people that are, like, constantly involved in some sort of drama, it seems to me like it'd probably take a toll on you at some point. We've been talking about Nick Fuentes a lot, so let's take Nick for a minute. Right? And I'm not saying this to shit on Nick. I mean, I don't watch his streams that much. I see clips, which is maybe bullshit to try to make this sort of judgment. But sometimes it seems to me like he's miserable. It's draining on him. And that sucks. Oh, there's our boy Andrew. He says, I'll never get divorced. Rachel would never retract her clause. That's a good point. That's... And so it's especially the lefties or some of the more insane righties. I just don't know, man. They look like miserable people. They just do. And if you're a miserable person online and you're miserable to, so many people like that, maybe there's a good chance that you're miserable in your personal life. And that's not a recipe for a good marriage. I think you have a duty. We'll just say, as husbands here, we're talking about, you have a duty to sort of be a provider, but you also have a duty to sort of, bear some of that burden. My job is to provide for my wife and for my son, and to also, as best as possible, take the slings and arrows so they don't have to. And part of that to me is not dumping, a bunch of bullshit in my wife and taking shit out on her because I had some internet drama occur. That's how I feel. So I try to be incredibly pleasant. It's not to say we never argue and shit, but most of the time we're arguing, it's not over some bullshit that happened online. Do I get bored debating lefties? No, I love it. I fucking love it. I would do it every day if I could. Lefties have infiltrated our entire culture for the past 30 years with almost no pushback. And it was my absolute pleasure to be one of the only right-wingers in collegiate debate and be very successful. And it's my pleasure now to push back against them as much as possible. And I don't give a fuck if it comes to a time, some of these demographic trends are scary as shit. I don't care if it comes to a time that I'm ostracized because of these opinions and because I push back against the left. So be it. It is what it is. So I have fun with it. I love debating. I love arguing. I liked arguing with people on the right as well. But the stakes for the arguing with people on the left couldn't be higher. It just couldn't be. And, it gets tiresome when you deal with the same sort of strategies, deflections, red herrings over and over and over again. But I love it. I keep coming back for more and probably always will. Drama time. Let's do it. All right. Did I miss any super chats? No? Okay. Make sure you get super chats in, folks. So, I wanted to bring on this guy, Jebtan. Andrew's on here. I see that Jebtan is always talking shit on Andrew. He's not an Andrew fan. Jebtan's sort of a, I don't know, milquetoast, like Paul Ryan type Republican, I guess is what I would say. But he's not bad. As far as like people I've seen debate, like from the right, that I have massive disagreements with, he's pretty good. Is Jeb a drunk? I didn't know that. Maybe he is. But I saw him having some online drama, just a tad, and I thought it was funny because it's someone that is a convenient punching bag and it's so easy to make fun of, and that's our boy Whick. Yes, that's right, Whick. Everybody's favorite punching bag before Brian Shaprio came along. The last 2 times I debated Whick was this. One wasn't really a debate. This was the last time where he proudly announced to his audience that they needed to go get arrested to obstruct ICE. And that would mean they get arrested, but hey, we had the moral duty. As Christians, the moral duty. Now you might say, bold thing to say. If you're telling your audience that they have a moral duty to go get arrested, surely he is taking those actions also to get arrested, right? No, we couldn't do that. That'd be too much to actually go to a city and do something. He'll just tell his audience, which is fucking despicable. Think of those 3 to 4 people in his audience that may have taken that poor advice. It would be horrible. Of course, the time before that, I debated Whick. I can't remember exactly what the topic was. I think it was on Ukraine. Dylan Burns was there. Now, Dylan, whatever you think of him, he's at least the lefty that put his money where his mouth was. He went over to Ukraine. I have huge disagreements, but I do respect the fact that he went over. I do. I respect that for real. Even if I disagree with them, still respect that. I can't remember the exact specifics of it, but at one point we were talking about one of Ukraine's recent declines in sort of land that they were controlling, and Whick tried to blame Trump for it, and Dylan was like, no, like, I'm on the ground, no one's really saying this, blah, blah, blah. And Whick's just spurging out because, somehow he knows better. He didn't have a source. He couldn't point to a source. He didn't have any anecdotal. It was just trust Whick. Political savant Whick, So, Whick's one of these guys that there's a lot of people like this. I'll give Whick credit for this. He's at least trying to put out his own content. It's just not that interesting. And so a lot of the audience he gets is when he's hosting debates or something. Now, to be clear, there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, I hesitate to talk about it, but like the people you see that are like panel hosts, like Sarah Tomato was, it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You just have to know that people are there to see the panelists, not you necessarily. And I've seen this happen like with people like Prime K's. Back in 2020, Twitch Politics, you had these debate panels all the time, and they were getting decent viewership, particularly because you'd have like a big person like Destiny come on. And because Twitch poll was overwhelmingly left wing, you'd get big numbers on these panels. And so there were people that were like, basically making their whole streams just hosting these panels. But eventually it gets tiresome. You can't do that every night. And so then when it's incumbent on you to like, okay, make your own content for a night, some people can't hack it. Whick, he got hired by Progressive Victory PAC. And again, I have no problem with that. Whick probably is a progressive. It's different than like Conor, who claims to be a conservative and a Republican, and then gets hired by a PAC with the stated goal of not just Democrats winning, but making them more progressive, which is the antithesis of conservative. But hey, I guess whoever's paying you. And as I always say, I'm never surprised that people sell out. I'm surprised at how little they sell out for. That's what's always shocking to me. Anyways, what's the name of the guy? I can never think of his name. Lex Friedman, is that his name? Lex Friedman? He came up seemingly out of nowhere. I'm sure there was some sort of astroturf there. But all of a sudden he had one of the biggest like debate shows or interview shows. And I remember Lex used to send super chats Wick's way in his channel, and you could tell it was like some sort of deal with Progressive Victory or some shit. So anyways, they tried real hard to make Whick like their go-to like neutral moderator guy. Didn't work that well. So whatever, poor old Whick, he'll stumble into a debate once in a while, and he's got this thing, right, where he he thinks if he acts like a tough guy. Let's see if I can find a clip. He has this way. He talks like this. And for you to think that that's acceptable, you can't believe it, you fucking pussy. He'll do like that thing. It's real impressive, man. Especially coming from a real physical imposing dude like Whick. It's a real good stuff. By the way, the last time I mentioned Whick, he got pissed because I didn't invite him on the show. Whick, if you're watching, feel free to just say something in the chat. I'll bring you on at any moment. I didn't reach out to you because, frankly, I didn't give a fuck. But, yeah, happy to embarrass you anytime you want. Let's see. All right, so here we go. We got this is when I was talking about ICE. This was after like Renee Good was shot and Alex Preddy, and you remember there were insurrections occurring like on a daily basis. You remember that? And Whick was being a tough guy and was like, you have an obligation to break the law. Okay, so I don't think that he's there on video. You'll just hear him, but here we go.
Do you want to talk to Whick?
Sure.
Because we both have words to say to him. Okay.
Yeah.
Whick, let me add you to the call real quick. Let's see if I can add you to the call, Whick.
We don't need to hear
you want to be
as boomerism.
Looked up a little bit. No, I sent it. I protected. It's the First Amendment standard. You're allowed to say, I want criminal things to happen.
It's like fight like Bill.
Brandenburg, because he means.
I think he does. I think it's clear that Whick was things like
happen.
Well, I mean, because your standard is grotesquely different. Nonetheless, I'm happy.
It's the First Amendment standard. You're allowed to say, I want criminal things to happen. And I want you to do crimes.
You thought it rose to the level of incitement of an insurrection when Trump said things like fight like hell.
Brandenburg, because he meets Brandenburg.
I think Whick meets Brandenburg.
Fight like hell.
I think Whick meets Brandenburg. I think he does. I think it's clear that Whick was having a far more call to violence, intimidation, and insurrection than Trump was. Definitionally.
What'd you do, man? Let's give the floor first. Let's have this organized. to Rob so that he can lay out his case, and then Whick, you can give your defense.
We're not going to listen to all this, by the way. I just want to give you an idea.
I'm your guest. It's your channel.
Yeah,
Cool.
Whick,
Rob,
you
why don't
told
you
people you're a coward. You told people to put their bodies on the line to obstruct law enforcement and to get arrested. You do so from your comfy chair. This is two things. One, it's probably a crime because you've probably incited an insurrection. Secondly, even if it's not, you're inciting people to break the law, which is despicable. And third, you're going to lead to people being harmed or arrested, which is absolutely despicable. And the situations like we saw are going to become more inevitable because of scumbags like you that encourage people to go out there and challenge law enforcement.
Whick, your response?
Okay, so coward's a funny word for someone who decided to go behind my back, not approaching me, but going to Pisco to talk about me without talking to me, without, confronting me yourself. So the coward's a funny word to use there. I'll start with that. Second of all, when we talk about blood on our hands, I think the people who are defending these ICE agents and preventing them from being held accountable is just going to lead to these ICE agents continuing to kill people in the street and to brutalize women and to brutalize civilians just for exercising their First Amendment and Second Amendment rights. So if anyone has blood on their hands, it is you, sir. And third, I absolutely stand by my statement that we have a moral obligation to obstruct ICE. And what I mean by that, and I say, if you're a Christian, if you're a patriotic American, you currently have a moral obligation to obstruct ICE. If they come to you and they ask you, where are the Spanish people? Where are the Hmong people? Where are the Somalians hiding? Lie to them. You don't know. You haven't seen shit. Okay? If you see them, hit record. Take out your phone and hit record. Thank God people.
But that's not obstruction. But that's not obstruction.
Let me finish.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, again, record these people. Record these.
You just get the gist. Pisco keeps jumping in to say, I want to hear Whick freaking out here. We'll get him.
And then showcase what you've said about it. Like, I don't know your stance.
And he and his audience should do
that.
That.
What Preddy did was moral and righteous. Yes, I will stand by that. That's the first right thing you said. But what were the two examples I used?
Okay. Wait.
You keep filibustering.
You'll be able to explain. Wait. So finish up, Rob, and
now what happened with Preddy? He was killed. That's what Whick is recommending. He is recommending that people put their lives on the line, that they intentionally obstruct. That's what he's doing. I'm not making up. He literally said, break the law. You'll get arrested.
Preddy didn't break the law.
Said. Now, what do you think?
I don't think Preddy broke the law either.
Preddy didn't obstruct. Preddy didn't break the law. The fact that he got killed is entirely.
But deal with Whick. Deal with the criticism.
Finish my point.
Okay,
the idea that saying your interpretation of whether or not he broke the law is irrelevant. What you were saying is two things. One, people should break the law. And second, people should prevent ICE from apprehending people like Preddy did, which led to him dying. That's what happened.
With this conversation is you bring up like 10 lines, and I can't address them because I forget what you want about the first place. So address this point by point.
So
I remember.
A violent altercation with ICE. That's what you're doing, and you're doing it from the comfort of your home while you're unwilling to go out there and do it yourself because it'll cost money. So much for your full fucking moral obligation.
Okay, Whick, these are the criticisms. The first one is related to your hypocrisy that you
couldn't touch law enforcement.
You shouldn't touch law enforcement.
Okay, so if Preddy touched
single clip of me telling my audience to go to Minneapolis.
It doesn't matter. You told them to.
Okay, so you can't find a single clip of me telling my audience to go to Minneapolis. So when you say that I'm telling my audience to go out there to go to Minneapolis, you're lying, correct?
No, I didn't say you told them to go to Minneapolis.
Okay, you're implying.
He's saying that if this is so important, then you should be willing to.
And it's not just Minneapolis. There's many other places that ICE go to LA, go to New York, go to Chicago, wherever else ICE is operating.
I think ISIS should be opposed, but I ain't going to Afghanistan.
That's right. This is such an important issue that you need to tell your audience to break
the law. I think the cartel should be opposed.
Isn't this your whole fucking stick? You're like
driving down to Mexico. Am I? You think
this like if you support America giving
the
AIDS,
border should be secured, but I don't see you going to the border.
Suggesting that people engage in
Fair
lawful
point.
defense of the country is different than suggesting people break the law and
Yep.
actively put themselves in
Wait,
physical damage
Rob.
and then being unwilling to go do that yourself.
You're understating your broader point because wait.
No, I refuse to accept in your blindful ignorance. Now the truth is,
You don't get a choice. You're accepting it. You accept it whether you like it or not.
I disagree. I'm not accepting it. You're the coward that's telling people to go break their law and put their lives in danger while you're not doing it yourself. And you're like, oh, if it ever comes towards me, I'll do it. Bullshit. Then go. You are a coward. Imagine you would be the person you think this is the civil rights movement of the day. And imagine being like, yeah, I'd stick up, but it's an hour away, so I'm too busy. But hey, you guys should all do it. You guys should do it. I'm too busy.
Wait, Rob. I think you're hiding your power level a little bit here, Rob, because I've heard you make this point about Ukraine funding, where you're like, if you want America to donate or to give money to Ukraine, you should be going to Ukraine to fight. And so, like, when you just say, well, no, this is just for like illegal stuff, I don't think that that's right. This is a kind of argument you deploy a lot about hypocrisy when it's not entailed. And I don't think that Whick has said, I want you to go out of your way to go to places that are in fact, but just basically saying if in the course of your day to day, where it's not like unreasonably inconvenient, you see it. And now you might say that's ridiculous, that anyone who has that standard should also be willing to travel across the country. You might say that's ridiculous, but I don't think it's hypocrisy.
I don't give a shit what you think. I think that it is clear rank hypocrisy to suggest that people break the law.
Unless you're willing to go to the border tomorrow,
Let him
then I don't think that you care about border enforcement. Unless you're willing to go to the border and start patrolling, right? Put on your little plate carrier and start patrolling. I think you're a hypocrite.
It's a completely different situation. Telling someone to break the law and personally put their life on the line is different than saying that lawful policies that we have should be enacted, that our border could be protected by people using a legal means to do it. You are suggesting people, if people follow your lies, the predictable outcome would be, one, they get arrested, as you admitted, and secondly, that they would find themselves likely to be in violent altercations with ICE. It is not a burden that's impossible for you to meet, to travel a few hours to get to one of these places and actually do this. The civil rights movement of our time. You think these people are domestic terrorism?
For you to go to the border.
I'm not advocating that we should.
Are you advocating for border control?
I didn't advocate that people break the law.
Are you advocating for border control?
I'm not advocating that people break the law to secure the border.
Are you advocating for border control?
I'm not advocating that people break the law.
Wait.
Now, do you see? By the way, I love that Pisco jumping in to try to. So their argument is, if I say, "Hey, I would like law enforcement to arrest criminals," if someone else says, "I would like people to shoot the police," we have to do it. It's a moral imperative. And I say, "Why don't you do it then?" They say, "Well, you want the law enforced." Do you see the stupidity? Because one is suggesting that we use legal means in order to protect things. The other is suggesting that people intentionally put their lives on the line to commit crimes, to obstruct law enforcement, and get arrested. But I'm unwilling to do it myself. And the fact that they're trying to compare the two is absolutely insane. But you can see, just so you can see how extreme even
Rob, that's a distinction. That's a distinction. Why is it a distinction with a difference? Like, who cares if it's, isn't it the whole thing? Like, your conviction is X. You think it's really important. Therefore, you should be willing to do it.
No.
So why is that illegality? I know that's a difference. Why is that a difference with a distinction?
It is a different calculus when you were telling people to break the law, right? Saying that you want certain laws enforced, right? And therefore, if you want them enforced, then you must yourself go volunteer to enforce those laws, is different than saying you want certain laws broken and you want people to put their lives on the line to break these laws.
Yeah, it's different, but why does that matter for the hypocrisy point? I agree it's different.
Because the level of it is so staunchly different. I'm sorry, you got a dick in your mouth there, Whick?
Just stuttering.
You got a dick in your mouth there, Whick? What was that?
Whoa. What would be wrong with that?
What, having a dick in his mouth? I don't know.
Now, you see, Whick is racist, you're homophobic.
Yes.
We're a little racist. It's okay.
So the point
Can you guys do your I gotta go to bed.
That, like, the disingenuous nature. You're right. You can do threshold things with anything, right? What I'm saying is the threshold's clearly different when you're suggesting people break the law and end up in violent confrontations with ICE. And you're unwilling to do so yourself. It is clear that he is a coward and that he doesn't think this issue is that important, or he would be there. What's preventing you from going, Whick?
Okay, is he done with his closing statement? Can I make mine?
That wasn't my closing
wait.
statement.
So wait. So I think what Whick would respond to that, and we can tell me if you agree, is that that's not part of your prescription, and you don't think that it's like something you want to do to go to travel Minnesota.
Say that. I'm sorry. One more time.
What's stopping you from going to Minnesota? Is Rob's question.
I'm not advocating for anyone to go to Minnesota.
You don't want to go there right now, right?
It's cold, bro.
Civil rights matter as long as I'm comfortable. There you go.
Okay,
Straight from the crooked tooth.
I think the local community is important, and that you shouldn't abandon your local community to go off on some adventure.
The old snaggletooth tough guy. Oh, it said treat them like, unless it's cold out.
All I'm saying is I'm not seeing your fat ass.
You see, it's so important. We have a moral obligation to obstruct ICE and break the law and go to jail. I'm not going to do it, though, because it's cold. But you guys should all do it.
The border, that's all.
I'm not advocating people break the law.
You're advocating for border control.
Border's pretty
but you're not willing to do it yourself.
I'm not advocating people.
There's plenty of people who did. A lot of civilians went to the border to participate in border watches. I saw it on the news all the time. They went to the Canadian border too to do this, where we saw people all the time.
I didn't tell them. I never told them
border
to
patrol
do it.
and ICE agents find those.
I never told
crossers.
them to do it.
You advocated for that strongly, and you haven't done shit.
Show me once where I
You haven't done shit.
Show me
you haven't been to the border.
Show me once
you
where I
haven't been patrolling.
Show me once
Why
where I
aren't you?
advocated.
Show once where Whick said. Show once where Whick said go to Minneapolis.
Whick. The difference is he told people to go out and confront ICE, and he's unwilling to do it.
Rob. Loser Rob. Always going out with his lines and filibusters.
I'm dealing with two insurrectionist supporters, so I understand the need to.
Me? What the fuck did I do? I've been moderating. I feel like I've been
nonetheless.
Fair.
So the point I'll make is, by the way, Pisco thinks that he's been neutral on this, which is hilarious, right? I never called for individuals to go out and secure the border. Whick has called for individuals to go out and break the law. Strangely silent now.
You having a heart attack, bro?
You know our response to that, which is like it's a difference, but not necessarily.
Yeah, there's no distinction. You just keep on saying, "Well, he wear a red shirt and he was wearing a blue shirt."
No, you're telling.
They're both wearing shirts.
And that makes it different for your prescriptions. That if it's a fervent prescription with respect to breaking the law, you should be willing to do it. But if it's a fervent prescription that is in accordance with law, you shouldn't be willing to do it. I just don't understand like where that principle comes from.
Saying that you, I mean, I don't know what to say, Pisco. I guess I'll make this as clear as possible. I'll make this because you're both so stupid in bad faith. Yes, I'll make this as clear as possible.
Stupid? Wait. Is that an unreasonable question?
No.
Why is fervent belief?
You steel man, what you think my argument is, Pisco?
I think basically you're saying that Whick views this as so important that he's willing to advocate something that is like drastic. And given the stakes, the drastic stakes, that you should be willing to do essentially what's a minor inconvenience given those stakes and given what you're recommending. That's, I think, the steel man, right? And that the failure of the mismatch between the way that he's presenting the issue and what he himself personally is willing to do, given the nature of what's stopping him from being in the place, that there's a mismatch there and that there's an inconsistency.
See, this is one of the worst things. Like, what a mush-mouthed fucking answer, right? What a mush-mouthed fucking answer. Like, are you kidding me? My argument is if you say, hey, I think we should secure the border. Hey, I think we should crack down on crime. Hey, I think we should arrest sexual assaulters. That doesn't mean that I'm a hypocrite unless I go put on a vigilante mask and do those things myself. It is completely different to say, I think you have a moral obligation to go out, interfere with law enforcement, and break the law. That is a hypocrite if you're unwilling to do it. More than a mismatch, you're on the right direction. Someone that wants to go secure the border is at very little danger on physical health compared to actually challenging and obstructing ICE.
Cartels. Hold on, our border patrol agents under threat. They have to wear fucking masks and hide their identity because they are under such threat from cartels and evil people who want to hurt them? Are you saying that they aren't facing a threat at the border?
And certainly is it less danger legally. Now, I know it's interesting that Whick wants to talk about the cartel. Crazy. I noticed he didn't have shit to say when 200,000 kids came up missing under the prior administration or record numbers of people died at the border. You don't care about them, right?
Well, we're gonna get the Carter page in a second, and I have to go. Rob, we'll give you your last word, then Whick. So, Rob, encapsulate the accusation against Whick. Do you stand by your accusations? Do you think there's more evidence for them? What's your overall disposition? And then give your closing thoughts.
Overall disposition is people like Whick and probably Pisco as well that want ICE removed, defunded, or to stop enforcing the law, want to use violence and intimidation and law breaking, or ignore that violence, intimidation, and law breaking to get their political way. This is something the left does all the time. They did it in the Summer of Love. They're doing it now. And it, by the definition that they have talked about, meets insurrection. Whick is a fucking coward and a terrible person for instructing or recommending to his audience to not only put themselves in harm's way, but to break the law. As long as people like Whick have people that listen to them, which thank God Whick doesn't have a big audience, but as long as they do listen to that, this will make violent confrontations inevitable, which is what Whick wants and what the people like him want. They want people to die. They want people to get hurt so that they can say this justifies removing ICE. He ought to be ashamed of himself. I can't believe he has the balls to act like he has some sort of moral high ground when he is literally telling people to break the law. He has no idea what the fucking law is. He has a subjective interpretation of what violence is going too far from law enforcement, etc. And he's going to lead to people being killed, and he does not give a fuck. In fact, he would be happy not only because it would achieve his political ends, but the motherfucker, if one of his audience members was killed, would go on and make the story about him and brag about it. He is disgusting and despicable and a great representation of the left. And it's why we should not listen to these motherfuckers, because they'll sit there and gnash their teeth and scream about things like insurrections and violent right-wingers, while at the same time all morality is subjected to them, and they'll literally advocate for the breaking of the law.
Whick, we'll give you your final response.
Certainly. I'll try to be very brief. Rob, when the federal agents come and they're pushing your wife, and I see them pushing your wife on the street, I will stand in the way, because what that would be doing would be they would be doing something wrong. I want to live in a world where people see federal agents of the state brutalizing civilians and do something to try to stop it. I have repeatedly said, do so non-violently unless very high thresholds are met, which you've agreed with. I've said repeatedly, right, that the main things that I want to do, and this is a thing I've repeated most of all, is to record, is to warn others. And the fact that you have to continuously lie about my position, I think the audience can see it.
Spoiler alert, I never lied. He literally said obstruct, lie to law enforcement, which is a crime, and get arrested. And then when I bring it, he's like, you're lying.
You're flailing, you're sinking, and frankly, I think that your defense of the indefensible, of this administration's continuous lies over and over and over again, of DHS, Kristi Noem, Bovino from the Lollipop Guild, all these people's continually lying to the American public about what happened, and you specifically lying about what we saw in that video, saying that Preddy had done something illegal or immoral, when in fact he's a true American patriot and hero who was gunned down in the street by federal agents, right? I don't know if they did it on purpose or as an accident, or if there's an accidental ditch charge. I can't say. I wish there would be a fair investigation so we could find out. But the sad fact is, under this administration, there will be no fair investigation. They're not even investigating the good shooting, right? They actively tried to, they had to get the Minnesota State had to get a TRO, an emergency TRO, to prevent federal agents from destroying evidence in this case. That's insane, right? At the end of the day, I just think it's really clear that you're a liar and a loser, and you will always and continuously be sucking Trump's dick until you choke on it. That's all I got to say to you. Peace out.
Later, guys.
All right, so there's Whick for him. That's Whick. That's what I want to say. So there he is. Tough guy, recommends people break the law. His buddy Pisco that doesn't, I don't understand. Why is that a hypocrite to tell your supporters, hey, you all should go break the law. You have a moral obligation to break the law and interfere with ICE and get arrested. Not me, though. It's too cold out for me. I don't want to go. But you all have that moral obligation, right? And Pisco's like, oh, well, it makes sense to me. Incidentally, do you think I think I asked Pisco this, do you think as an attorney, Pisco's recommending people break the law? Me thinks he wouldn't. It's almost like he understands intuitively there's some ramifications to that, both morally and legal. Anyways, that's Whick. Now, the reason I bring him up is A bit of Whick drama going on today, which is kind of funny. Now, did anybody see the end of The Boys? Spoiler alert for the crappy show The Boys that I only ever watched like a couple episodes of. There was this guy, Homelander, right? Homelander's like the bad guy Superman, and they increasingly made him sort of like Donald Trump. They're just the whole show just by the last season apparently was just, hey, Homelander's Donald Trump. He's Donald Trump. I don't know. Can I play it? Someone that I trust. I think I could probably get away, right? If I play a clip of someone saying, I'll S your D, I'll eat shit, that's not a violation of TOS, right? I won't play it because maybe it's a copyright thing. Anyways, that's what happens, right? So Homelander, he loses his power and he's groveling and he says, oh, like basically, I'll blow you. I'll eat your shit. You know, like just groveling because the writer has this fantasy. And the fantasy is that's Trump. Now, the irony, of course, is we saw what happened when Trump almost got killed. He came up saying, fight, fight, you know. But this left-wing writer's fantasy is that. Of course, as I said in the extravaganza, what I find to be hilarious is these writers' ultimate insult to someone is being a gay man, performing fellatio on a man. I agree. That is pretty cringe. Amazing. I love how the left, right, that acts like there's nothing wrong with being gay, it's blah, blah, blah. That's the first thing they want to do, to insult you. Oh, you're blowing someone. Oh, you're blowing. Oh, you're doing this. You're doing that. It's like, they know that that's the go-to insult. It's like, I wonder why. If there's nothing shameful with that, right? Anyways, I saw that clip. Now, keep that in mind. This guy groveling. I'll do whatever you want, right? So then I was watching, just tangentially, I mentioned this last week, a little bit of this drama with the streamer Destiny. Now, let me give you the fastest rundown possible with what's going on. Destiny had a bunch of videos of him in sexual encounters released online. Apparently, he gave them to a girl that was an OnlyFans performer, and then she got hacked. Some of the people in there, and one person specifically said she did not give consent for Destiny to send that recorded material to someone else. Now there's a lawsuit. Bunch of people are attacking Destiny. Bunch of people are circling the wagons around Destiny. That's it. So it's some bullshit lefty drama, as you might expect. Ultimately, what I found humorous was the orbiters, because this is a space on the left, and so it's not like Andrew Tate, where people would be like, based, Andrew Tate banged some chick and filmed it, who cares? These are lefty feminist types, you know, or at least lean that direction. And so they have to act like they're outraged by the behavior, but still, they don't want to lose the golden calf that's Destiny that gets them all their clicks. So they have to try to walk that tightrope. And it's just fun to watch. Let's watch these people groveling. And so one of the allegations is doxing. Destiny is threatening to dox people allegedly that are coming after him. Are the people that Destiny's allegedly trying to dox also trying to dox Destiny allegedly, or other people? I don't know. It's a big shit show of a bunch of fucked knobs. Who really cares? But it's so funny to watch the people like sort of jump through hoops. So I played the other day the left-wing streamer who I never really had a problem with, Stardust, right? And I played the clip of her excusing Destiny's behavior, admitting that she initially was highly condemning the behavior. But then, you know, all guys basically do it. So it was different. Is basically, now it's, you'd be like, you don't hurt your brain trying to figure how someone could, you know, come to that conclusion. Like, it's real simple. She did that because she wants to be in good graces with Destiny so that some people from his audience continue to watch her show or attempt to watch her show or whatever. That's it. It's that simple. And wouldn't you know it, it's not just her. Even our man Whick. Even him. So Whick and Stardust and a bunch of other people were aggressively going after these alleged doxers that were going after Destiny and how immoral and terrible it is. But are they going after doxers on Destiny's side of things? I don't know. That's the allegation. So in steps this guy, Jebtan. Now, I know Jebtan and I follow him, which is how I saw this, right? Jebtan's sort of pointing out, like, the other day, because Destiny's alleged to have doxed, Jebstan says in Whick's Discord, hey, is it your policy to ban people from your Discord that dox people? And basically Whick was like, no. And Jebtan's pointing out, like, you know, like, what's up with that? You're clutching your pearls about this, but you yourself seem to, you know, not have a big of issue with it. And the reason is because you don't want to lose Destiny. You don't want that. That would be bad. Now, this brings me to the boys. When I saw that, the Homelander groveling, I swear to you, I actually thought, because now people are using that as a meme format, right? Anakin getting beat by Obi-Wan, and Anakin's like, oh, S your D, Obi-Wan. I'll eat your shit right in the Jedi Council floor. Literally every movie you could think of now, they have the person that's losing do it. It's funny. I'm tired of Rob. Good night. Have a good one. To be honest, maybe everyone's tired of you. Maybe not. Maybe I'm tired of me too. Anyways, so I just thought of, like, groveling Whick, like, yes, Destiny, LS your D, whatever you want, of course. And then I thought it was so funny because I was scrolling through and I saw this. And this is Jebtan. And I was pleased. So here we go. And Jebtan puts I was very amused of Whick's really doing what's necessary to keep his audience. So Whick's always like, I'll bring Destiny on and you guys can come debate it out and I'll be neutral. I promise I'll be neutral. So I just chuckled. No big deal, right? But then I want some more details behind this, and this is why I wanted Jebtan to come on to watch just what a fucking joke this is, right? And this is what I thought was just brilliant. Now, he links. Well, Jebtan says this. He says, your mods are resigning because you offered to ban talking about Destiny in your Discord if he isn't on your stream, and compromised on changing a zero tolerance rule to allow recording your VCs so you wouldn't get blacklisted. It's all here. Now, apparently Whick has rules that says, and a lot of people have this, by the way, if you don't follow Discord, right? A lot of people, the Discord, they don't want you recording shit on the Discord voice chat. There's sort of an air of somewhat privacy there. By the way, though, everything you're saying on Discord, just assume it's being recorded and someone will release it at some point. That's the safest way to go. So, whatever. But that's the rule. So, like in the Crucible Discord, if you get caught recording shit in the voice chat, or pretty much every other Discord, and then releasing shit, you'll be banned. And a lot of Discords have rules up like that. So, and then the other thing, so he's saying he revoked that rule because Destiny wants to record the voice chats now. And he changed his rule and said that it's no longer going to be allowed to talk about Destiny in his Discord. Now, why did he do this? Why did he change rules? Well, I'll show you. And I thought this really said a lot about Destiny and a lot about Whick. So here we go.
Do you think that makes any sense, what you just said? I'm not asking.
I think that after block, like work around email chain. I've seen, but yeah.
Sure, now, how do you make all this time to talk about me? And
I know it's unreal, but it's not just snug as.
I've been getting a lot of DMs. A rumor's been crossing my
Alright.
desk. Okay.
Yep.
Have a good night.
Have fun. Good luck. Talking about me for hours and hours in VCs more. Bye.
Now Wick's he's getting real serious here. What's going on? He's been getting a lot of DMs. Are you ready?
Are you Are you blacklisting me?
I'm thinking about dissociating myself from every community where Doobie is an active chatter, where Doobie's still on the fucking server. I don't think I can handle that anymore.
Like,
Doobie is a guy, he used to run the politics server. He's got like a little lizard avatar. I've dealt with him from time to time. Now, I don't know what Doobie and Destiny are fighting with, but Destiny just said, I'm thinking about blacklisting you and everyone else whose Discord has this guy Doobie on it. So he's going to blacklist him. Now that's fragile Destiny. Looking for reasons to blacklist people left and right. He blacklisted me for using AI, allegedly. Blacklisted Ryan Mullally. He's blocked or whatever. But I'm going to blacklist you. And Wick's like, well, you going to blacklist me? So let's watch.
I understand your point here, and I actually agree with it, that these people going in and kind of creating these rumors constantly and spreading like, and basically litigating why you are evil 24/7 is a problem. I agree with you 100%, right, on that. I just don't, I mean,
I don't want to be blacklisted.
I don't think it helps or will fix any issue by just blacklisting anyone that has any of these people in their server, right?
I disagree. I think that's
Okay. I can actually stick up for what Wick's saying here, right? So Wick's like, hey man, come on. You're going to literally blacklist anyone just because in their server, or like if you don't understand Discord, it'd be the equivalent of Destiny being like, Rob, I'm going to blacklist you if Wade Boggs is in your chat. I don't like Wade Boggs. He said shitty things about me. Like, how petty is that? So Wick's right. Like, I mean, come on. You're going to ban me because there's a dude as a regular chatter in my Discord that you don't like. That's what you're going to do. That's ridiculous. Right?
I think it's a really effective way of doing things, and I think that's why that's their MO. Like, that's their entire goal, right? Do you agree that Doobie is trying to enforce a form of blacklist against me with the way that he donates to people, right?
I think he's pressuring you. I don't know if I'd say blacklisting, but it's definitely a pressure campaign and manipulation campaign. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, with money, with thousands of dollars of money, right?
Sure.
Where's Doobie? Where's the thousands of dollars to talk shit in Destiny? I'm not going to wade in on his drama necessarily, but I'll smack around in debates. Doobie, give me a call. I'd love to fucking make Destiny look stupid on his political takes for thousands of dollars.
But it hasn't worked in my case, right? Like, This is something that they've been doing, not just for a month, not just for a couple months, but for over a year now, that they've been constantly harassing me, basically, and trying to get me to ban you and to not have you on, either by directly saying that, like a few community members, or as Doobie does, and say, I'm just not going to donate to you when you have Destiny on.
You can see people in Wick's chat. This is sad now. Oh boy.
That hasn't worked in my case. And so if you're going to blacklist people where communities this happens, I think you should probably make an exception for communities where it does not work. And I think
you should make an exception for me because it hasn't worked. I still am your buddy, Destiny. So make an exception for that. Okay.
That I've demonstrated.
Yeah, but the problem is when you say does not work, the issue is that like these people are so active in these communities.
By the way, the right answer for Wick, I don't understand. I don't mind basically what he said so far. I really don't. But the correct response would be like, I'm sorry you feel that way. But yeah, man, nah, I can't just ban random chatters and random people because you don't like them. I'm sorry, man. I can't do that. Sorry. That's, if you were on principle, that's what you would do. You'd be like, no, I'm sorry.
Talking and talking and talking, and they will bring their friends in to talk and talk and talk. Like it was happening a few months ago. Some people notice it. I think the only like really well moderated community that like protects against this stuff is loner boxes.
Oh, I thought he was going to say mine.
Some people notice it, but like 4 or 5 will join at the same time. They'll be in these VCs constantly talking about me. And now, like at this point in my life where it has had like a severe negative like impact on, like these people are direct participants in my court case right now. That's letting a fucking actual sex trafficker just like run free in the UK because they're so obsessed with like trying to talk about me. And
now, to be clear, I'm involved in a court case. I'm being sued for at minimum $150,000 by Sarah Tomato. You want to know what I said when people said, Rob, would you be upset if I go over to Sarah's panel and like join the panel? I said, no, oh, cool, man. No problem at all. No problem. Or people like Dusty that were talking shit on me and like cheering on this. No problem, man. Wherever you guys want to go. No issue here. I don't want the drama here. Like, if you know, but if you want to go, see the difference? No, I wouldn't ban someone in my chat. People, in fact, not only would I not in my Discord, my chat all the time, people come in and talk shit on Andrew. If they start spreading shit that's like, you know, like I banned a guy the other day because he kept saying Andrew was taking money from Israel and I kept asking for proof and he didn't. Okay, goodbye. But that's because that's different. Whick saying Destiny's my friend, I'm going to ban him is one thing. Whick saying what they've said about you didn't rise to that level. So I didn't ban them. And Destiny saying, fine, then I'll blacklist you. And then Whick going, okay. Or, well, let's make a carve out. See the difference? I have no problem if Whick would have said, fuck that, Destiny's my friend. I don't want people talking shit like it's here. That's one thing. But to have to grovel because Destiny's threatened to blacklist you for not doing it, it's a bad look for Destiny and it's a bad look for Whick.
Participate in my case all the time. I just don't know why I would want anything to do with communities where these people are just for 10 hours a day. You can't fight against it. It's too much. It's too much to constantly have somebody here. Like, these people are relitigating the Anne of War drama every single fucking day. 8-hour VC. I get sent so many recordings. Did you know there was another 7-hour VC last night in this politics? There was another 6-hour VC in Peace Coast. There was another 5-hour VC in Connor's, another 7-hour VC in Wicks. Doobie was in there last night. Oh, you know how Vickers kept bringing up, like, didn't you do this? Wasn't this part of the Mr. Report? That was Doobie sending messages to him because it was in that fucking voice chat. And then he was there chatting for hours and hours after the debate. He was there this morning for when I woke up, still talking about me. And then before I went to stream, he was also in there talking about me. Like,
look, I'm going to be very clear with you. I 100% am on your side, and I do not agree with Doobie and what he is doing. But Doobie has been part of my community since it began, since it started.
See, he's been there forever. Okay.
He is often in my VC and has been since it started just to chat. He often talks about you, but not always talks about you. Now, if you'd like, I can consider something like banning, unless you're on my stream, not letting them talk about you, right?
So Wick's going to change his Discord policy, you see? Unless Destiny's on stream, if you're on Wick's Discord and you mention Destiny, you will be banned.
Like, so if they do start litigating, oh, did you hear about what Destiny did, X, Y, and Z? Maybe we can put a nix on that.
Yeah.
But asking me to ban someone who hasn't broken my rules, I'm just not going to do that.
We'll tell people that it's now a rule that you can't talk about Destiny unless Destiny's on the channel. Okay?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. But the issue is the way these people operate is like, if somebody says something good about me in one of these VCs, they're all going to be in their side Discords, like sniping at the person, talking about the person.
Yeah.
In some Discords, maybe
you've shown me the evidence that this is the case. I 100% agree with this. Yes.
Yeah, but then why? Like, I just don't know why I would want to be associated. Like, it's just like, it's so much. Like, why? Yeah, I don't know. It's just like a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
I get it.
Like,
but you understand, like, on my end of things, right? And I get that, like, this isn't something like you have to be altruistic for or anything like that. But, like, I do have a certain set of rules. I do have a certain set of values. And one of my values is I allow people to have discussions in my server about, even if I 100% disagree with them. Like, again, this is something that's been litigated in my Discord over and over and over again in a pressure campaign against me, which, again, has not affected. It doesn't have the same ramifications towards me as it does towards you. I understand that. I'm not on trial. I don't have a court case pending. But it is something that they have been pressuring me that has affected me. But, like, one of the reasons initially I took your side before knowing anything is because they were asking me to ban others and you were not. And I'm always going to side with the people, at least initially, who say, hey, You can do what you want. We're not going to try to pressure you or manipulate you in any way, shape, or form. And one of the things
That's
that
fine. Then in that case, my only request then I guess would
Sure.
be to not ban the streaming in that room, because now I'm just going to set an alert up, and if any time these motherfuckers are chatting about me, I don't give a fuck if I'm sleeping. I don't care if I'm at my future wife's fucking having a birth in the hospital. I want to be able to jump in and talk to them. I don't care if I'm streaming or not, because like it can't
Look,
be
I
that these
can
guys
actually-
are
I can-
24/7 constantly
Yes,
chatting about
I
me
get that.
always. It's crazy. Dude,
No,
it's
I understand
crazy.
that, and I think you've demonstrated enough that rule probably needs to change for that reason. Because if they're going to talk shit, in my servers,
So now we have to change the rule that said you can't stream. This is like a private, just our group, so you're not allowed to record or stream it. And he says, "Okay, Destiny, if that's what you want, then we'll change that rule."
that you have to be able to respond. I get that. Yeah, we can make a change for that rule. Yeah, we can do that. I can do that. But like I said,
Please
if
don't ban me. You're the only reason that people watch when you come on. Please don't.
it's ban this person who hasn't broken any of my rules, I'm just not going to. I'm just letting you know.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else?
All right. Here's my favorite part, though.
Just letting you know.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else I can help you with today? Anything you need?
Now this is old. Honestly, I don't think any of this is that big of a deal. I really don't. I just don't. I've said my piece, but at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal in the world. But the whole reason that I'm playing this is that line. Let's hear this again. This is so funny to me. This is the whole reason I played this. I spent fucking an hour in this for this. You ready? This is how.
Going to. I'm just letting
You ready?
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else I can help you with today? Anything you need? Is there anything I can help you with? Is there anything you need? Ah, shit. Oh, man. I have to give props to Jebtan. This was more about giving props to Jebtan than shitting on Whick. What a perfect meme for the moment. Is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything you need? Oh, shit. Oh, my goodness. I thought that was so good. That's it. That's literally the only reason I showed you this. That whole thing. Just because I wanted to set that moment up. It's just so perfect. I laughed for like 15 minutes earlier when I saw it. I really did. You know, at the end of the day, Whick could do whatever the fuck he wants, to be honest with this. I think it's a bit much. I think the right answer is like, hey, man, I'm not going to change rules because of you. If I think someone's over the line, fine. But I'm not going to change community rules that have been there forever. Like, nah, man, I'm sorry. If that's how you feel, sorry, man. I still like you. Still like for you to come on the show. But, hey, I can't do that. You know? But it's clear that Whick's in a tight spot because he wants to be connected to Destiny, like so many of these other orbiters, because there's an advantage, you know? Because he thinks he could bring in audience and numbers and all that stuff. That's what's going on. And so, you know, at least Destiny knows. Just letting you know.
Okay. All right.
Is there anything else I can help you with today? Anything?
Look at that smile. Is there anything I could help you with today? Anything? Is there anything I can? Ah, whew. Oh my. Well, there you have it. That was fun. Super chats. Goodness gracious. Max Reddick $2 says it's Peter Pettigrew, not Whick. That's funny. Christopher Scott, $5 says, the distinction is Whick is actively calling for random citizens to break the law. Rob is not calling citizens to action. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, that's absolutely it. He's saying you have a moral obligation as a Christian or as a moral person to break the law and get arrested. That's a moral obligation. I've never said any such thing. The Big Daddy Pod, $5 says, damn it, Rob. Your squawky voice has grown to me like a cancerous goiter. Here I'm sending you money, you little Keebler elf. My father-in-law's 5'2". I am 5'8", I think, but thank you. I'm like a virus. I just infect people. Micah Hecklin, $5 says, another one. Thank you, sir. And another 5 gifted memberships. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And then GC Mike, $5 says, anything Dobby can do for Master? Oh, man. Maybe someday Destiny will give him a sock. Like a good little, what are they, house goblins? Ah, funny. In other news on that front, Destiny hilariously was unbanned on Twitch today. And then like 15 minutes later, he was banned again. And apparently the guy that runs Twitch, that Dan guy, was like, it was human error. He wasn't supposed to be unbanned. So take that for what it's worth. But it's a fucking joke. Like, I don't like Destiny at all. I don't. Not a big Destiny fan, not a big Whick fan. The idea that they're banned, or I don't think Whick's banned. The idea that Destiny's banned, that and fucking shitbirds like Hasan that have said way worse things are allowed to stay there. Absurd. It's just, it's stupid. It's nakedly an absurd double standard. And it's because Hasan has ins on some of the people that run Twitch. They're boys or something. It's just stupid. It should not be, Destiny, in my opinion, should not be banned. Or if he is, then there's a litany of other people that should be banned. Now, I know that those fuckers, Destiny's publicly called for all conspiracy theorists like me. In fact, everyone that's a streamer to be banned, while mentioning me as a conspiracy theorist. So whatever. I'm not going to fucking, lose sleep over it, but Twitch sucks. And look, the ultimate revenge that Destiny's going to get on Twitch is going to keep getting worse and worse. So, hey, it's sort of policies and double standards like that that led to it in the first place. Go Rumble. Go YouTube, much better. Thanks so much, Wicked of Now. $5 super sticker. And then Character Holding, $5 says, MacGruber did it better than Homelander. Yeah, MacGruber. I had a friend that MacGruber was his all-time favorite movie. I never watched it the whole way through, but my friend, who's a really funny guy, he was like, dude, you got to watch MacGruber. It's hilarious. Ston Gus, $5 says, you don't get it, Rob. It's a little thing called respect. Where's respect? See what I mean, though? How miserable some of these people on the left look? It's crazy. Thanks, Ston Gus. It's crazy. I don't know. So yeah, that was the drama. Now, actual real news to talk about. Hunter Biden now has an X account. He's making the rounds. Yay, Hunter. Let's see what he's up to. Hunter, you got something important to tell us? Go for it, Hunter.
I mean, whether it's Butler or Charlie or
Butler makes no sense.
These things that it's just not right. And I mean, it's so glaringly not right. It's almost as if they're just saying,
F
like,
you.
F you.
They're not even
I don't
trying.
care.
We don't even get good psyops anymore. And that's what I keep saying. I'm like, it's so disrespectful that we're not even getting good psyops anymore. Like we're supposed to.
There you have it. Just in case you're wondering where Candace Owens stands, there you have it. The collab you didn't know you needed. Candace Owens and the conspiracy Charlie Kirk was killed by the Turning Point USA people, chumming it up with Hunter Biden. But trust them, Candace, they're super right-wing bros. They're super, yeah, man, they're right-wingers. Super. Don't you dare accuse them of collaborating with the Democrats or the left. Don't do that. I mean, what a fucking joke. But you go, Candace. You get them. Good shit. Let's talk a little shit on Republicans. I think this is actually something that's worth discussing. So we tangentially talked about this a little the other day, but this is from Andrew Desiderio. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, dude. He says, news. Nearly 2-hour meeting with acting attorney Todd Blanche and Senate Republicans was incredibly hostile for multiple attendees. As many as 25 GOP senators spoke. This is very rare for these meetings, all in opposition to the weaponization fund. Brief aside, Trump has announced that there is going to be a fund of money to pay back people that the government has been weaponized against. So you have all of these Republican senators allegedly that are against this. Republicans pitch specific ideas such as dictating how the 5 commissioners are chosen and not allowing people convicted of violence against cops to be eligible for payouts. GOP senators tell me they have no official guidance yet. Thune didn't provide any during the Blanche meeting. But many of them believe they will be sent home for the recess because of how much time it'll take to get the agreed upon language and have it scrubbed by the parliamentarian. Now, there's one more. Oops. What's going on here? One more thing, I think also reported by the same gentleman. Let me see. Brendan Peterson says, I asked Thune if Trump administration owns this delay given the timing of the weaponization fund rollout. Timing is something we have no control of. It's what they need to help with the issue. It's not the quote I was looking for. There's a quote. I'm not going to be able to find it. There's a quote where basically they asked, did like the sort of supporting Paxton that have something to do with this? And they're like, yeah. Now, the reason I bring this up, how many times have I told you that the Republicans in the Senate fucking hate Trump? They hate him. They absolutely despise him. They despise him. All of this clamoring that you've heard all these people doing, saying, end the filibuster, end the filibuster. For what? Why would a bunch of people that don't want to enact Trump's agenda end the filibuster so the American people could see that they're the ones responsible for not enacting Trump's agenda? And now it's becoming even more clear. They're throwing a tail. We don't like this. John Cornyn was our guy. We don't like it. We're pissed off. Now, maybe you don't like the weaponization fund and you're a senator. Okay. But you know what everyone likes? The SAVE Act, which you fuckers refuse to move on. So eat shit. How about that? Maybe your opinion would matter more if you, did anything? Did you pass any legislation to secure the border? Nah. Pass any legislation like to enshrine Doge cuts? Nah. Did you pass the SAVE Act? Nah. All she did was say, we want Trump to give us more. We want him to endorse our guys. We want him to endorse Cornyn. Oh, he didn't? Did you allow Trump to do recess appointments? Nah. Now, ironically, the other people, like the Candace Owens type right-wingers, will say, no, actually, Trump is in bed with them. But vote for them anyways. Now, again, Exvobik called in earlier today for the day shift show. By the way, day shift hit the goal. Night shift, slacking. But vote for them anyways. Yes, vote for them because we're voting to ensure that the executive orders that Trump's already enshrined stay in place, right? And we're putting pressure on them and continuing to push for people like Paxton that they're getting pissed off. That's why they're so mad, because they are waning in power. They no longer have the control and stranglehold over the Republican Party that they did a mere 8 years ago. Now they're floundering and they're losing control. That's good. You're suggesting, Exvobik, is we don't like illegal immigration, so vote for Democrats to bring 10 million more in. That's your suggestion. We don't like abortion, so vote for Democrats to ensure more abortion happens. We don't like Somali fraud, so vote for Democrats to ensure more of it happens. I believe I articulated Exvobik's position. Exvobik's position, you go back and watch the daytime stream if you like. His position, when I point out the things that we've gotten that are good from the Trump administration, is it's not enough. We ordered the big steak and we haven't got the big steak. I said, sure, instead of 12 ounces, we got 1 ounce. So your response is, excuse me, waiter, I ordered the 12-ounce steak and I've only gotten 1 ounce. Could you take this back and please bring me a plate of dog shit that I could gorge myself on? Thanks so much. And then as they're sitting there just shoveling dog shit in their mouth, like smiling at you with shit coming down their jowls, they're like, oh, you're eating that 1 ounce steak, sucker. Why don't you get yourself a plate of dog shit to eat? I'm good. I'm good without the dog shit. Thank you. I could turn it on you. Exvobik, do you think that Republicans are intentionally, some of them are intentionally trying to sabotage the midterms? Because I hear that a lot from that crew. They're trying to sabotage. Republicans trying to sabotage. So let's give them what they want. The Republicans we hate. None of it makes sense. But it's just more examples. They hate Trump. They do. Imagine like this is the analogy he comes up with. Here's a French fry. He's an asparagus. I'm going to eat a ribeye with my Jewish friends. By the way, you're paying for dinner. Now again, this is the thinking here. You see, yeah, sure, Trump's way better than the Democrats, and he's giving you some incremental benefits, like he has secured the border. He has had more deportations in the past. He has strengthened the federal workforce levels at 66. He has all the things we talk about. He's done all that, right? But that's not enough. He should have done more. He's doing more for Jewish people. The Jews are getting what they want. You see, oh no, it sometimes does it. Let's see if I can fix this. Oh no! It's not leaving me scroll. I can't play my Jewish clip. Oh yeah, no, I can't. You lucky bastard. My thing's screwed up and I can't play the Jewish clip. You're lucky. You're lucky. Why does it do this sometimes? I fixed it before and I forget how. Let's try this. Anyways, well, we can't play the Jewish clip. Bummer. Anywho, let's assume that's true. Let's assume we're getting 20% of what we want. Hell, let's assume we're getting 5% of what we want, but the Jews are getting 100% of what they want. And so the response is, let's vote the guys in that are going to give us negative what we want. They're going to do everything we don't want. That'll fix them. Which once more proves this isn't about doing things to make things incrementally better. It's about the number one issue is we have to hate the Jews. We have to hate them. That's most important. Yeah, sure, net negative migration. Sure, all the great court cases that we got because of Trump that they're fighting in front of court, like Chevron deference and overturn Roe v. Wade and the Voting Rights Act and all that. Sure, that's all good. Sure, federal workforce to the lowest levels. Sure, outing the smelly fried. Sure, bringing SPLC and Act Blue charges. Sure, winning all of these seats that are now increasing with Republicans. Yeah, that's all good. That's all good. But Jewish people are getting more than me in my belief, so therefore burn it all down. We can't have Jewish people. We can't do it. It's just not right. And I'm telling you, it's that simple. It really is. Even the reasonable people. I think Exvobik's like perfectly fine person to talk. That's where they're at. That's where they're at. Unfortunate. I know you're thinking like, how does this even remotely make sense? That's it. Character Holding, thanks for the $5 over on Rumble. And the Mangozi 10 says, my tea was too hot. Thanks, Jewish people. Yes. And then over here, Sleep Robert, $5 says, Turning Point USA. We would have got away with it too if it wasn't for the expert smoothing with Hunter Biden and Candace Owens. Those bastards. I never thought of it as a Scooby-Doo villain. Well, getting out of NATO, again, that's something that at least Rubio and companies talked about. I feel my stream's totally haywire now because I can't play the clip. Here, I'll show you what's happening. It's very strange. This has happened before. To the shaky cam. All right. So here's my little window, all right, with all my stuff. And it won't let me scroll. See? I can't scroll. If I go up here, look at this. If I go to banners, I can scroll there. I can scroll comments. But I can't scroll here. I don't know. I don't know what goes on with it. The only way I know how to fix it is to exit out of the stream and come back on, but I don't want to do that. Plugging in. It's not a bad idea. Collector Eyeball, thanks for the 20. Says, Razor Fist did a video calling the Jaceburg fake right 2016 Democrats. These people aren't on our side. They're infiltrators and lefties who hate Trump and hate Christians and hate conservatives. I think some of them are. Some of them are good people, I think. I do believe that. Particularly some of the people that follow it. I think they want what we want. They're just convinced that Israel's the root of all of these problems, or almost all of the problems, and that they've convinced themselves that if they don't get everything they want, then nothing's being done. And, I don't know. It's strange, but the Amy Bach, who was the person from the Feeding Our Future scandal, got sentenced today 41 and a half years. 41 and a half years she received for the Somali daycare scandal. To which I say, not enough. Minimum life in prison. Minimum. But I guess I'll take 41 and a half years. Ooh. Not enough time for her. Yeah, she has to pay back millions, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Mr. Anti-Commie, huh? Couldn't happen to a nicer person. What else do I have for you here tonight? I don't know. I have some depressing shit. I don't know. I want to talk about it, if I'm honest. All this fucking, these sexual assault cases and murders that are happening all over like the Western world, and basically, I mean, I'll just. Teen gang who lured schoolgirl 15 to underpass and laughed as they filmed themselves sexually assaulting her avoid jail as judge praises them for behavior during trial. By the way, it's a real article. I read it. Gang targeted, lured, and gang assaulted 2 young girls at knife point while they filmed it and laughed while they took turns. One of the girls said, "All I want to do is die. I no longer have fear for when that comes." And all the boys were spared prison. I'll spare you the details, but a lot of it had to do with, well, they weren't smart enough, and they were very well behaved in court. By the way, they did it twice. They did it to a 14-year-old girl and a 13-year-old girl. Twice. No jail time. My asset thing's not working. I can't help it. It's not just the UK. I mean, remember I talked to you about the Bataclan the other day? Bataclan was an attack in Paris at this. It was all around this concert, so it was outside the venue and inside, that led to 129 people being killed by 3 members of ISIS. It was this band playing the Eagles of Death Metal, and they went in and they killed all these people. We talked about this the other day, and I shit you not, then I saw this. I can't believe this. This is one of the craziest things I've ever read. Mohammed Bakali, the logistical brain behind the Paris and Bataclan attacks that killed 129 and wounded hundreds more, is allowed penitentiary leave by the Brussels court. If he continues his calm and good behavior, according to the court, he could soon be freed indefinitely. The person who organized the murder of 129 people. We talked about this the other day. If you've never heard of the Bataclan, I won't put this up, but here's someone commenting on it. They said, when you say he killed 129, it kind of undersells the fact that they cut fetuses out of pregnant women, gouged out eyeballs, castrated men, and then put their testicles in their mouth to suffocate them as they slit their throats, and sexually assaulted women with knives. Which allegedly there's recordings of, and the French police would not be released because Islamophobia. Now, the guy that was the logistical brains behind orchestrating that attack is probably going to get out for good behavior. Well, he spent 10 years in prison? I saw someone say, if he would be released now, 129 people killed, he served 129 months, basically. A month per murder. Nice. Now, if you would post a meme expressing your displeasure at this, that could land you some serious jail time. That'd be crazy. We have to have our priorities, right? Police found bodies stacked like firewood. Intestines were hanging from chandeliers. But good behavior. They've been very polite in jail. You know, so. So I said, I almost thought about not talking about this. I don't even know what to say. This is what we're up against. This is what we're flirting with. Well, I'm pissed off. The deportation numbers could be higher. Let's vote for the party to import more of these people. Please. That'll fix it. Nice. Good shit. And then the one other story I wanted to cover, because it's something I talked about, I'll re-talk about it again. I'm sorry. Time Magazine, worth bringing up as well, real quick. There's Graham Platner, noted Nazi tattoo haver, who recently came out, commentary of him mocking a service member that was killed in the line of duty, calling him fat and saying he deserved it. Time Magazine, even in this anti-establishment political moment, Graham Platner's rise has been remarkable. His candidacy is forcing the party to come with terms, with what it's willing to risk in exchange for a fighter. So remember, Time Magazine has alluded that Donald Trump is a fascist, has called his supporters Nazis, said that his rally at Madison Square Garden was reminiscent of a Nazi rally. But the guy with actual Nazi tattoos, he's a fighter. You see? You remember? They're going to elect this dude, or they're pushing to elect him, whether he wins or loses, right? Remember when they proudly, and the support for Democrats went up when the Attorney General for Virginia messages leaked that he wanted the death of Republicans' children? Remember that? His opponent's children? And Democrat support went up, and they voted for him? Do you understand where we're at? Within 4 years, they will be electing people that will say, if I'm elected, I would like to just kill all Trump supporters. And they'll say, that's great. You'd be like, no fucking way, that never happened. They literally elected a guy that wanted the death of his Republican opponent's children. Oh, it was all memes. It's all joking, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. Now, the last story, it's graduation time. And you know what that means? Nice! They did it. So that clip I saw, what the fuck ever, we've seen a million like it. And Gavin McInnes posts that and says the following on X. He says, I know a teacher in South Bronx. He was trying to fail some kids who did not show up to class once all year. I wouldn't recognize them if I saw them, he said. The computer's enter button was ghosted at 0%. He tried to type in that their grade was a 0 because they didn't show up. Computer wouldn't let him. Tried 20%, wouldn't let him. Tried 45%, wouldn't let him. Tried 60%, wouldn't let him. Eventually, at 71%, it let him. All the kids got C's. That's academia now. I told the story about professor I knew at the university I went to. I was in a class, and the president of the Black Student Union, he's fucking ridiculous. He always had this red and white cane. It's fucking asinine. This dude shows up for the first day of class. And then we don't see him the rest of the year. I was in class pretty much every day. Dude didn't show up. Showed up the first day. And if you've never been to college, most classes the first day is just like, hey, here's your syllabus. Here's the book you're going to need, you know. Maybe they'll give you some homework assignment. You'll all introduce yourself. That's it. So the first day is a joke. It's nothing. Of course, almost all college is a joke. Nonetheless, he didn't show up after that until the very last day of class. He bebops in and sits there like he belonged the whole time. And I happen to know the professor, so he told me what happened. He's like, yeah, he came up to me and was like, hey, sorry, I had like a death in the family. Is there anything I could do to make up the work? And the professor was like, no, I'm sorry. Maybe if you would have made arrangements with me because some tragedy befell you. By the way, for 13 weeks? The entire semester? Really? But anyways, maybe if you'd have made arrangements, that would have been one thing, but you didn't. So now you fail. You get a 0. End of story. University dean calls the professor and says, hey, graduation's coming up and he's the president of the Black Student Union and needs this course to graduate and he's speaking at graduation. He can't fail. You got to give him an opportunity to make up the work. So obviously my professor friend was pissed off about the whole thing, but was like, fine. So he goes to this Black Student Union president, says, here's the deal. You have to write a 15-page paper due next week that covers the course material. Okay? Sure. Next week comes. No paper, no rough draft, no nothing, no communication. Dean's office calls the professor, says, give him an A. He got an A! Well done, well done. Now, I have no doubt that guy's head of HR somewhere. Bragging about his fucking degree, and he probably had a 3.5 or some really decent GPA, right? Hard to have a bad GPA when you get an A for not even showing up to fucking class. Pretty tough to do. This shit's the norm. And that's some little rinky-dink college. Now, I want to see if I can find this post from the other day. Oh, there is another thing I wanted to cover. But you got to look, we're going to wrap it up here if we're not getting more super chats. I got to try something. I have to. So, I've 2 stories. This one with the colleges. First part of it here. Law schools lean left hard. This is from Bonica, Chilton, and Razima from 2018 to 2015, or 25. In 1990, the dotted line students, 60% of law school students were left-leaning. 70% of the professors. Now, the number is at about, for professors, 96%. In 2023, 96% of all law professors were left-leaning, and 95 or 94% of all students were left-leaning. Do you have any idea what that means? Do you know what that means? We're fucked. We are fucked. That means the next generation of judges and prosecutors and defense attorneys are all going to be the most woke motherfuckers that you've ever seen. They're going to be telling police they're racist for responding to shootings. Don't believe me? Well, let's see where we're at already. Cambridge County, I believe somewhere in the Northwest, they had something called ShotSpotter. What it did was it was a surveillance thing that would recognize when there were gunshots in the community, and then it would notify law enforcement so they could rapidly respond.
I do not consent for my vulnerable neighbors in our welcome community sanctuary city to be at risk.
And to make sure we hear from neighbors more directly impacted than I am, I will also be sharing a recorded note from a Putnam Gardens resident. He's unable to be here, but feels that ShotSpotter surveillance puts him and his family at risk.
En la última audiencia, los residentes hablaron abrumadoramente en contra de ShotSpotter. ¿Saben por qué? Porque las familias...
And This puts Black and brown communities in Cambridge in very real danger.
That BIPOC members of the Cambridge community are more likely to be recorded by ShotSpotter and thus are more vulnerable to potential abuses of the data and recordings collected by the company, as well as dangerous over-policing. Surveillance does not equal safety. We do not need microphones on top of buildings listening to every loud noise in the vicinity and sending in police in order to be safe.
Okay, so it's Cambridge, Massachusetts. Okay. So there. Now, this person, Kirsch, nails it. Kirsch says, BIPOC members of the Cambridge, that's black people, etc. Members of the Cambridge community are more likely to be recorded by ShotSpotter. How is this even feasibly possible, as a microphone can't detect someone's skin color? What an odd thing for her to say. That is weird, isn't it? How would a microphone be racist? How's that possible? That seems odd, doesn't it? I think we need some sort of study. Is there any tech experts out there that could sort of walk me through? How's that possible for these microphones to be racist like that? It's very strange. So what do you think the next generation of lawyers are going to do? How do you think that's going to look? "62% of degrees went to women in 2026. 38% went to men. Yet all the resources, support, encouragement still goes to getting girls and women ahead. When will we reach equality? When 100% of degrees go to women?" And then this guy, Brandon Warmke, says, "When I used to attend commencement regularly as a faculty member, they'd announce each year that like 63% of the graduating class was women, and a huge shout and applause would go up, and I was always impressed by the enthusiasm for inequality." Then he says, "Last month I gave a talk on higher ed reform and was asked what to do about the fact that most philosophy majors are men. I pointed out that at all levels, women get more degrees than men. This wasn't enough. There's still a problem that women are the minority in one field." See the issue? If there's a field where women, if in a whole industry or whole academia, if women get 63% of the degrees, that's good. That's progress. That's excellent. In fact, the only thing bad with that's that it's not 100% for women. But if there's one major where there's more boys than girls, this is a problem. What are we going to do? Equality is not about equal opportunity or equal outcomes. It's about anti-men, anti-white, anti-Christian. Now, I know I saved this. Here we go. Anthony Bradley. He says, "Clemson is $1.5 billion in debt. Syracuse is closing or pausing 93 programs. University of North Carolina Chapel Hill plans to cut spending by over $89 million in 3 years. Duke recently let 600 employees go in a $350 million budget cut. Indiana Public Colleges announced a plan to eliminate or merge 580 programs statewide." It's collapsing. It's absolutely collapsing. Academia is collapsing. It's going to fold in on itself. I would guess that probably 80% of universities could close and there would be zero harm at all. At all. All that would occur would be A bunch of young kids would not start off in debt, would have less partying to do, less sex on college campuses, and would be entering the job force earlier. And a bunch of fucking worthless administrators at universities would have to go get a real job. Fisher King says, over half of Americans attend some form of higher education today, something that was once reserved for a small cohort of people. A large chunk of them don't even get a degree, just the debt. Closing down 75% of universities will not result in any loss to mind or culture. Will save people a lot of money and force schools to fire administrators and focus on research and teaching. For students who actually belong there and want to be there, pinching these schools off is a good thing. And it's like when you look at the amount of administrators, there are schools now. I was reading, I don't know where it's at. This guy, yeah. Akasha Gupta. Get him, Gupta. Let's read what he says. He says, universities had 17 years of warnings. They responded by doing the opposite of what the math demanded. In 2008, American birth rates fell off a cliff. The Great Recession made people stop having kids. Yeah, and materialism and feminism and left-wing indoctrination. Those never-born children will be turning 18 right now. The number of U.S. high school graduates peaked roughly 3.9 million in 2025. By 2029, that number drops 15%. By 2041, it drops by nearly 500,000 students a year. Every school in this tweet had access to the same census data. They all saw the same curve. Administrative positions in U.S. colleges grew 60% between 93 and 2009. 10 times the rate of tenured faculty. Non-instructional spending, such as student service and administration, grew 29% from 2010 to 2018. Instructional spending only grew 17%. Average tuition at public four-year schools went from $3,500 in 2000 to $10,560 in 2023. Yale has more administrators than undergraduate students. 5,460 administrator compared to 5,000 undergrads. That is fucking insane. That's like having a principal for every student. What could the theoretical benefit of that be other than just free jobs for people, free government money? They built the cost structure of growth company on top of a customer base that was mathematically guaranteed to shrink. The split in this data tells you everything. Clemson, Syracuse, Duke, North Carolina, and Indiana are all cutting because the model broke. Alabama, Ole Miss, and the University of Florida are turning away more applicants than ever. Harvard gets 5 applications for every spot. The middle is where the cliff hits. Elite schools absorb demand. Everyone between elite and community college fights over a shrinking pool. The Fed published a study in December 2024 predicting 80 colleges will close in the next 5 years. Since 2016, 100 have already closed. In 2024 alone, 28 shut down. That's 1 per week. These program cuts and layoffs are a decade late. The birth rate data was sitting in census spreadsheets the entire time. Everyone in higher education administration saw enrollment cliff coming. They hired more administrators anyway. So there's a town near me called Du Bois, and Penn State has a branch campus there. It's closing in 2 years. The school I went to, Clarion, had a campus called Venango Campus. It's closing down. Clarion is no longer Clarion University. It had to merge with other state schools. So now it's Penn West Branch is the name of it. Even around here, all the small, low-tier schools I've seen, one by one, they're falling. Yeah, I'm not going to cry either. Fuck them all. No one deserves it more. No one deserves it more. All of the students that bitch and they're like, we need, it's not the evil Trump that screwed you over. It's those colleges. The government got involved in guaranteeing your loan. You weren't mature enough, or you were just stupid and made a bad decision. By the way, a bad decision I myself have made is I owe student debt. I'm no better than anyone. I got a worthless fucking master's degree that I don't use. These schools charge more and more and more and more and more for a product that meant less and less and less and less and less. And what did they do with the extra money? Did they hire more teachers, more professors, so that there could be better education opportunities? So at least, even if the degree wasn't worth as much, students were receiving a better education? No. They hired Black Research Department or Office of Minority Counseling. Even at the university I went to, Clarion, there was this dude that, like, half the science classes I took, he was this African dude. He'd come in with this African garb, and he'd show this fucking PowerPoint of whatever country he was from in Africa, and they built a community zoo. I saw that fucking PowerPoint 3 times. What's the guy's job? I don't know. It was some bullshit like minority outreach. That dude's probably getting paid $130,000 a year. That your tuition's going for. By the way, your state tax dollars in Pennsylvania going to that university for that bullshit. All right, one last story. I don't know. Should I do it? Maybe I should just end. Should I punish my audience? Rah! I'm weak. Let's see if I can find this. I thought this was fascinating. Oh, and then this one. 9 out of 10 students at the University of Michigan and Northwestern University admit to researchers they lie in their papers to pretend to be more progressive than they really are in order to get a better grade. All right, where's my Massey boys? Where's my libertarians at? Casimir, are you lurking? You gonna get pissed? All right, here we go. Last thing real quick. I thought this is Christian Haynes or something like that. A former libertarian, which I myself was at once. I tried to run for Congress in 2014 or 16 as a libertarian. I still have a lot of sympathy with libertarian causes, but I'm not saying this is the final word on libertarianism by any means. And there are certainly arguments to push back against this. But I thought this was a very well-articulated piece that people weren't giving much attention to, that I thought maybe my audience, in lieu of like Thomas Massey, who's considered to be libertarian-esque, or maybe Rand Paul or something like that, with Massey losing, I thought maybe this is worth it. So indulge me as I read this and we talk about it. Christian says, a lot of people are asking me why the libertarian moment failed to materialize. Here are my thoughts as a former libertarian. About 10 years ago, there was an expectation, certainly within libertarian circles, but across the right at large, that the future of conservatism in the U.S. would be libertarianism. There was this belief that the GOP would become a vehicle for libertarian philosophy, and the right as a whole would be moving in a far more libertarian direction. I didn't know that that would be the case, but that was my hope. I truly believed that. I was a big Ron Paul guy. The Tea Party movement, Ron Paul's presidential bids, the prospect of a future Rand Paul bid, and old Reagan quotes about how the essence of conservatism is libertarian were all in vogue if you were involved in any sort of right-wing politics in America. There really was this feeling of the old Reaganite fusion was exhausted in the Iraq era and discredited neoconservatism, or had discredited. Meanwhile, the 2008 crash, coupled with managerialism of the Obama presidency, had radicalized a bunch of young men into rejecting what they saw as establishment narratives from both parties. Totally agree. For the 20-something-year-old guy, being able to proudly say that he hated both Bush and Obama felt incredibly liberating. Ron Paul's 2 presidential runs and the prospect of a third and potentially more successful one from Rand promised to herald in a new era for American politics. And by the way, I think this holds true of the people that are like, both Republicans and Democrats suck now. It does feel good. It feels good to be able to say that. Like, you then can't be blamed for anything. You're out of the... Oh, thank you so much, Intel Wild. Unbelievable. You're out of the fray, right? You're out of the fray. Continues. Libertarianism also seemed like a great diffuser of the insidious social progressivism that was beginning to creep into all mainstream institutions. The Great Awakening was just in its beginning stages, and at the time there seemed to be absolutely no response to the progressive agitprop that was gaining traction on the left. We understood that these social movements were all pulling in the same direction, but no one had any idea how to address them because they were about as intense as they were insane. Libertarianism seemed to offer a great response. Do nothing. I'm serious. There was this expectation that we could completely sidestep the Great Awakening and nip the entire thing in its bud by adopting a you do you approach. By pretending like social or cultural issues didn't matter, or in some cases that progressives were actually right on them, libertarianism offered an avenue for the right to seemingly take off the table an entire revolutionary movement that we all thought was driving young millennials, who were still in their teens and early 20s, into identifying as Democrats or socialists or even communists. Quote, I don't care about the culture war. I want gay married couples to be able to adopt and protect their marijuana operation that's going to be in the basement of their private property with AR-15s, and I want to abolish the income taxes they make on it too. That was me, man. I said shit like that. Absolutely. But when this tactic was put into practice, it never seemed to work. I remember my old libertarian days over a decade ago, having conversations with lefties my age in high school and college, and it was always disappointing. Same with me. All these lefties, they liked me because I was against the Iraq war, so they tolerated me, and I would have the exact same conversations with them that you're having now, when always walked away like frustrated. It's like I kept trying to win them over and explain I was on their side and that they just needed to understand that wealth redistribution and socialism were bad policies. But that we were both social liberals, we wanted the same thing. I just wanted them to be rich on top of it all. And for some reason, it never worked. At the time, I didn't understand why. But I do now. Libertarianism offered the possibility of escaping politics itself while being political. You could tell someone you didn't care about their lifestyle, worldview, theology, or culture, and still plausibly make the case for why they should vote for you and implement your policies, because your policies were all about transcending conflict rather than confronting it. Libertarianism offered the illusion of sophisticated ideology for adults who had outgrown the tribal passions of the past. But that's exactly why it failed. It was always operating like a parasite on an older order that it didn't create and couldn't defend. But few of us could see it at the time because of the nature of the world around us. But that world, like the Bushite one before it, died. Mass migration and open borders actually changed the visual landscape of America in a way that was far more abrupt than the gradual changes of decades earlier. The Great Awakening, which libertarians offered to neutralize with its live and let live attitude, ended up devouring everything around it until people could no longer ignore it. The economic situation, which libertarian had such elegant solutions for as the centerpiece of its entire worldview, actually ended up being far more complex than the activists expected. America's massive twin fiscal and trade deficits, endless quantitative easing, zero interest rate environment, and then the hollowed out of the Rust Belt all coincided with the rise of managerial credentialism, the professional laptop class, and the adoption of progressive as the civic religion of every institution and profession that seemed to be benefiting from these policies. Social justice warrior and rich liberal became synonymous with all the institutions that had betrayed America. Now, I didn't write this. I'm reading someone else. And this is perfectly true. That's exactly what happened. As we just kept saying, no, more free markets. We don't care. Live and let live. All of these institutions were infiltrated with this woke shit. And all of a sudden, the wealthy people, the tech bros and all these people were adopting this left-wing mantra. This created a rebellion, as libertarians expected. But the moment Trump arrived, he revealed that the overwhelming majority of those rebels were not interested in small government in the abstract. They were looking for a government that would fight for them. That's exactly right. Most people weren't interested in the philosophical principle of small government and libertarianism. They just wanted someone that would fight for them. I talk about this all the time. The reason that people would crawl over broken glass for Trump was the bar was so fucking low for anyone to speak up about the working class. Anyone. There's no one that had a serious chance to win president that gave a fuck about people in my community, in these towns that are dying all around me. As people get poorer and poorer and poorer, we're treated like we're garbage because we're mostly white, because we're mostly conservative. Like we're a problem to be solved, to just let die out. And Trump came along and was like, I'm fighting for you. Maybe you think he was a liar. Even so, I don't think he was a liar, but even if you think that, the bar was so low that people were thirsty to hear something like that. Libertarianism didn't offer that. It was just like, well, we'll live and let live. It'll all work itself out. Continuing. They'd felt betrayed, humiliated, forgotten, and denigrated. They believed correctly that they were losing their country. They had a deep resentment of our oikophobic ruling class and their wacky social views that seemed to always pop up whenever core elements of their way of life were about to be torn away from them. And once these things came to the surface, the libertarian moment was essentially dead because it had no satisfying answer to the actual question being asked, which wasn't how to balance the budget or what procedural railguards could we set up to protect Americans from warrantless wiretapping. It was who rules in whose interest, and can we do anything to stop our dispossession at the hands of the people who openly hate us? That's exactly right. That is exactly why libertarianism fails in the United States right now. Even as a philosophy, particularly economically, that I tend to favor more. The problem is, in the face of overwhelming opposition of institutions that have all of this power that fucking hate me and hate people like me, adopting the policy of, well, if we just say live and let live, one side's constantly pushing to control, and the other side's like, nope, we're just going to pull back. Which side do you think wins that game theory eventually? That's the problem. The libertarian moment failed because it had no answer to this question, which has essentially been the foundation of all American politics since Obama's second term. It's a political ideology that wants to escape politics itself. And the moment politics became more than just a complicated math problem, and instead about which civilization would prevail, the entire premise disintegrated. Then Christian continues. This is why, as young libertarians, so few of our conversations with leftists ended up going nowhere back in 2013 or 14. We thought we were meeting them halfway because we assumed we were both basically individualists who just disagreed on wealth redistribution. As soon as we could explain the Austrian school well enough or show them that wealth isn't a fixed pie, we thought we'd solve the tension and create the political snowball effect that would transcend the old left-right divide, save the country from financial ruin, and make America great again by making the individual free and wealthy again. But many of our fellow leftists with whom we went to high school and college and grew up alongside weren't actually individualist in the way that we thought they were. They were just as moralistic and socially strict as our parents and grandparents, just for different causes. They didn't want to just be left alone. They didn't want to get government out of marriage. They wanted the state, the university system, the HR departments, the corporate media, the legal system, and every other institution you could possibly think of to ratify their ideology as being synonymous with just being a good fucking person. The leftists of our age didn't want to escape politics the way we did. They wanted total victory. And we were blind to this. We just assumed that everyone else secretly wanted depoliticization too. We thought we'd discovered a way to make everyone else chill out by showing them that the efficiency gains and freedom maximizing elegance of this cool new philosophy we all discovered at 17. But political factions, by their very nature, typically don't want peace on those terms because live and let live usually means living in a place and social order they view as oppressive or illegitimate. We thought the problem was economics, and in a way it certainly is. The U.S. is essentially destined to experience a sovereign debt crisis at some point, but that's not the whole story we all thought it was. The problem is the culture war. It is the social issues. The left did not reject libertarianism because it's economically illiterate, even though it certainly is. It rejected libertarianism because it offered to escape politics when the left wanted to use politics to launch a cultural revolution that would invert all existing social hierarchies while simultaneously claiming to have abolished the hierarchy itself. I thought that was a tremendous piece. It's absolutely correct. Libertarianism could work in a vacuum, but when almost every institution is infiltrated with people that want to maximize political and cultural power to make everyone exactly agree with them and treat as hostile as possible their enemies, those people then countering it by saying, we just want a philosophy where we don't wield power. We step back. It'll never win. It can't win in this moment. It cannot win in this moment. It can't. It really can't. And that is one of the failures, even if you like Massey, of someone like Massey. He stood on principle, which basically was beneficial to the people that were more antithetical to freedom. This side wants to infringe on freedom a little bit. Fuck you, I stand on principle, which helps this side infringe on freedom that much more. Victory! Even if you say it's worth it for me to stand on that hill morally, you can understand why the white people in rural Pennsylvania that I know are like, yeah, fuck all that. We want someone fighting for us. That's the issue. You can't sell it to those people. Well, eventually, and look, I'm as guilty as anyone. And the way to distill this very well thought out piece in a way that I think my stupid redneck brain can understand even better is this. I was aggressively against the idea of cancel culture. Aggressively. I watched the left do this. I watched them going through yearbooks to cancel people and go after companies and this, that, and the other. And so, when like the Bud Light thing came up in the past, before the Bud Light thing, that idea of, you know what, we should get together and say, fuck you, to groups we don't like. I just made choices myself and didn't really announce it. And basically, I didn't give a shit much. And I was of the belief that eventually cooler heads would prevail. Eventually, we'll all collectively realize, like, hey, this is kind of fucking insane. It's a bit much that we have to tiptoe around every issue lest we make one misstatement and we're going to cancel people or businesses, etc. But the truth is, I was wrong. There is no correcting it until the people that are wielding that power face the exact same consequences they seek upon others. That's the truth. The libertarian approach of, just imagine, for 4 years, they get to do cancel culture and cancel all of us, and then when we get power for 4 years, we won't do anything. Then they get power for 4 years and they cancel all of us, and then we get power for 4 years and we won't do anything. It's easy to see when that's done in every institution, academia, your HR department, the tech industry, politics, etc., that inevitably you stop winning because the game becomes rigged. That's how you end up with 95% of law students and law professors being left-wing. What's the libertarian solution for that? What is it? I don't know. And it's sad because in my heart, I want to be a live and let live person. I do. I have my family. I have my shit going on. That's it. But at what point do I say, if everyone around me wants to aggressively wield power to crush me and my family, that it's no longer a moral position to just say, if I have a chance at someone I want obtaining power, that we should do nothing, only to then predictably allow the other side to maintain that power as soon as they get back in office or back in cultural power and do the same shit to me and my family again. As a parent, don't I have the right to proactively seek people in positions of power that will defend me and my family? And some of these libertarians I talk to are some of the smartest people I talk to. They're brilliant. I like them. I find them eminently moral people. I enjoy hanging around them. But I don't see what the practical application solution they're offering is. And what I'm starting to learn as I get older, the idea of, well, at least I stood on principle, at least I had my morality. If your morality doesn't lead to any practical applications to make things better, is it really moral? If I adapt some moral framework that everyone in the world says, that's fucking moral, that guy did it, Everyone, lefties, righties, Hindus, Christians, Muslims, everyone's like, that's it. That man did it. But it results in the starvation of my child. Was it really moral? So I say, well, philosophically, it was eminently moral. But practically, it led to my family starving to death. Was that moral? As the person who's supposed to provide for my family? Is that a moral thing? I'm not a big philosophical thinker, to be honest. I try my best. I'm not advocating for authoritarianism and the brutal conquest of anyone that disagrees with me. Far be it. But at some point, do we have the right to say, look, it can't just be that. It can't be the left saying, we want to control your entire life, and Ron Paul then saying, but we don't want to control anyone's life. Then the compromise halfway is, okay, we'll control half of your life. At some point, we have to start to fight back, right? Cool Vic! Thank you, my man, for the raid. Always great to hear from my man, Cool Vic. If you haven't, please go check out his channel. Here it is on YouTube. Check it out. Go over sub so you can see the next time he's live. He's a great dude. So it's just I saw that and I was like, it was very thought-provoking, and I thought I wanted to read that for you all because to me, I thought it was summed up quite nicely. I'm open to hearing libertarian response to that. I really am. And I'm certainly not antithetical in spirit to libertarianism. But what do we do at this moment right now? The libertarian, of course, would say you were never a libertarian if you're willing to wield power, state power to achieve your ends. Then you were always a fake libertarian. Maybe. Maybe. But, all right, some super chats. Isley Robert, $5 says, Rob, I'm from Maine. Graham Cracker, it's funny, is dangerous. He plays the blue-collar character very well and has excellent messaging. He's got big money, too. Yeah, he may win. For all the gnashing of the teeth that the Republican Party was Nazis, blah, 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 the Democrats may successfully elect a dude that literally ran around for years with a Nazi tattoo, knew it, and lied about it. And he may win. Chop Chop, $20 says, yeah, what Wade said. All right. Thanks, Chop Chop. Miss Coonsworth, $10 says, support. Thank you. Intel Wild, $5. What a chad. Says, Pretty most definitely did break the law over and over and over again against federal officers. He did. Collector Eibel, $10 says, in Blaine Lee's Perdo's book series, Blue Dawn, he paints a clear picture of what happens when the left control everything. They become violent and get away with it in a mass scale. Yep. And then they gaslight us that it's not occurring. Old Snippers, $5 says, you're making firm, scientifically backed claims, but if you consider that you're wrong and silly, and I'm cool and smart. Touche. Intel Wild, unbelievable. What generosity. Always one of the nicest people in the community. Unbelievable, generous support. Thank you so much, my friend, so much. Says Tree 57. Go! Thank you so much. My voice cracked like I was hitting puberty there. What the fuck was that? For real, thank you, Intel Wild. Matt Fleming, $5 says, can't share a country with the left who plan to destroy the whole country and her identity as its foundation. That's what libertarians fail to see or refuse to, yeah? Matt Fleming again for $5 says, the ideology of the left must be defeated for this reason. It's a zero-sum game now. 2 ideologies enter the Thunderdome and only one will walk out. Agreed? Luxford, $20 says, a big wake-up was the idea of original sin from church being applied to all white people regardless of class or experience. Fuck that. Yeah, that's absolutely right. You saw it in the debate I had with reparations the other day. That guy didn't seem all that shitty. But even then, we as white people have this original sin. It's our problem. Horrible. Psyker Carrick, $10 says libertarianism can only work when everyone is playing by the same rules. High trust society, etc. Exactly. When people use those ideals as shields to steal and cheat, it's suicidal, and they just won't see it. Yeah, totally agree. Thank you, man. And Psyker Carrick again, $2 goes, and I voted libertarian until Trump 20. Ron Paul was my favorite candidate ever. Piano Dean, what's up, my man? $5 says, sometimes I think about how the last thing those poor souls on the Titanic ever heard was Celine Dion's voice, and I just start crying. Isn't that terrible? Isn't it horrific? Was that before she was doing adrenochrome? I can't remember. Mangozi, $5 over on Rumble says, it's interesting in 38, an Austrian painter was Times Person of the Year. Now Platner. How many years have passed? Yeah, funny stuff. Character holding? $5 says, Rob, I don't think you understand. We didn't get exactly what we wanted quickly enough, so it's time to surrender. Yep. And then Bry. I think a better analogy would be, do you want to eat 10 bowls of shit or 3 bowls of shit? Well, no, I don't think so. Because the whole point is, I don't think Trump has done nothing or has been negative. I think he's been positive with some things I don't like. In my opinion. So it's like, we haven't got a big ton of what we like. That's why it's a small steak. But we reject the small steak to eat the pile of shit. It makes no sense to me. For my part, what I'm trying to do, and I mean, I don't know how to say this. I've talked about this before. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be like the most masculine fucking dude in the world. It's not who I am. I am a dude who is a redneck, who grew up a redneck, who isn't good at redneck shit. I'm not good at hunting. I'm not good at shooting. I'm not good at fucking working on stuff, mechanical stuff. I suck. I suck at all that. And I got made fun of for sucking at that by people that I think are the greatest people in the world. And I didn't mind. I was funny. I was witty. I was a good speaker. Reasonably intelligent, I guess. Went off to college, did debate. And I decided, because I was pretty good at debate, hey, why not use my voice to try to speak up for these communities that I see being fucked over? That's what I'll do, because those are the people I respect the most. The guy, my neighbor that's getting up at fucking 6 a.m. every day and busting his ass, working 10 hours, some blue-collar job to support his family. That guy's not watching the news. He's not reading the Mueller report. He's not aware of what's going on at universities. All he sees is COVID hit, and he got fucked. And he sends his daughter to public school and sees all the fucked up shit that's happening there. That's what he knows. He's not looking at the philosophical nature of how the left leads to this. He's just like, what the fuck is happening? And everyone hates them. That's the people I care about, and that's the world I share with them. And I don't want to, I was talking to someone the other day about this. I never was like, I need to be the big man. I need to change the world. And that wasn't me at all. I just was speaking up like, where the fuck is anyone else? Why is no one speaking up? What's happening? Every other group seems like it has someone speaking up for them. Not this group. And I came into it like libertarian-esque. I did. But increasingly I say, what can I reasonably say? What can I reasonably say that philosophy offers any support of these people who are treated like shit? The backbone of this country that are treated like shit every day by almost every institution. What does libertarianism offer them? Well, we tried real hard. Sometimes we win and things stayed the same, and sometimes we lost and they came at you even harder. But hey, we'll try again next time to win and do nothing. So at some point, my mission becomes to try to lend somewhat of a voice, to listen to people and try to, my best to articulate, hopefully to people that can make a difference. And that starts with building a community and talking to just people online and an audience. But I also want to work with people in political world to actually move politics and culture and all that shit in what I think is a positive direction for these people that I care about. But the very concept of libertarianism would be like trying to use that mechanism of governments verboten. So it's tough. I don't want to... I want to win the fucking Powerball and be a billionaire and have someone that's 50 times better than me at debate and politics and everything fucking just start kicking ass and winning elections left and right and the country goes on a good direction. You know what I do? I play some video games here and there. I go fishing with my wife and son, have a beer from time to time with my dad, with my neighbors, with my friends, and fucking live in obscurity and die at like 70 years old because my fat heart will give out, you know? And I'm sitting on the, you know, maybe die in a rocking chair on my front porch, watching cars drive by next to my wife. That's it. Life fucking well lived. That's it. That's what I want. But I've started to realize that a lot of people want shit like that. And when that's what you want, and your opponents are like, I want to dominate every fucking aspect of your life, you piece of shit. Something's got to give. So you have to take up the proverbial sword. Not that I'm advocating violence, but the rhetorical sword. And you say, I have to enter the fray. I have to. Because if I don't, who will? And that means things that are against my nature of just like, fuck it, live and let live. I have to condition myself to be like, no. It can't be that way anymore. Not when these people want to end the fucking way of life of me and everyone in my community. It can't be that way. It can't be. If my neighbors were illegals, and they were good, let's just say, they were hardworking and barely spoke English, but seemed pleasant and nice, whatever, I wouldn't want them deported. I'd be like, fuck it. But it can't be that way anymore. They gotta go. They have to. And they're not going to. Trump administration ain't going to do it. He ain't going to deport all of them. But I have to be a person that says they got to go. I don't have to be a dour piece of shit. I don't have to always be miserable. I don't have to boycott every little thing that's ever done anything remotely lefty and spend my entire life going through shit to see. But I have to make an effort. I do. So, now I hopefully will have some libertarians on soon. Good ones that I think are intelligent, that aren't shitty left-wing libertarians. My friend Casimir, who I haven't talked to in a while, or Fabian Liberty. Both good guys. And I enjoy talking to them about this. But that's where I'm at. So, Intel Wild. $5 says, Rob, do you mind if I support the aging tomato? No, I from the bottom of my heart, I don't care at all. As far as the people that dislike me, even someone who's suing me, I don't give a shit. You watch their channel, support them. No skin off my back whatsoever, for real. I think it's absurd to try to control, the type of stuff that people's watching. There are people that like me and dislike Jim Bob or Andrew, or people that like them and dislike me. There are people that like me, plus they like Destiny, plus, it's okay. Shit happens. No big deal. Wicker than Now, $5 says, hey, Rob, did you write off libertarianism completely, or do you still find value in their perspective? I definitely still find value in it. I just fail to see the practical application of it. I could respect the pacifist, but I need him to get the fuck out of the way when the Mongol hordes are raiding my home. John Mitchell, $10 says, it's good to have a couple libertarians in government to rein in uncontrolled spending, which both sides do all the time. The debt will eventually affect us in a huge way. I agree with that. I do. Right, $5 says, I was referring to voting Republican versus a rebellion Democrat vote. Yeah, I totally get it. The idea of the shit sandwich, I get it. And then Beakster, $20 says, Rob, show me your fallacy. Shaprio. Oh, man. I can't even play the song because my overlays are screwed up. I am so sorry. I would play it, but... Well, we've come towards the end of the show. And tomorrow around noon, I should be doing a debate review of the Steven Crowder-Nick Fuentes debate, I think. And I'm not going to be doing sorry, this is wrong. I'm not going to be doing a evening stream tomorrow. And the reason for that is we have like a little festival thing. So tomorrow and Saturday night, I'm going to be hanging out with family a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to try to stream during the day tomorrow. And it'll be a little different. What we're trying to do is, my editor and me worked, like, we want to take away, like, the bells and whistles, like, so get rid of the overlay and just have me analyzing a debate. So it probably won't be me addressing the chat much, because the idea will be it can then be clipped out and viewed as its own thing. Like, it was just me reviewing a debate without a chat around. So that's what we're going to try tomorrow. But obviously, once I finish the debate, I will read super chats and talk to the chat and everything. Obviously. I mean, come on. So we've come to the portion of the show where I got to play these stupid whip wheel songs. Look, if you're new here, this sucks. You should just leave. It's the fucking worst. There's this song where there's a whip. There's a way. I used to play it as a joke that my audience made me make a bunch of versions of the song, and then they donated money to play the song. I get money, which is good. They get to make me miserable, which is bad from my perspective, but I guess good from their perspective. So any $100 donation will play one song. Intel Wild donated 200. That's 2 whip songs. Amazingly. Now, any $100 donation spins the wheel, plus anytime we get over a $100 mark. So, for example, a $100 donation right now would give us 2 whip songs, one for the $100 and one for passing 500. Or a $73 donation would play 1 whip song. You get the picture. Let's play the songs. Yay. Oh, wait. Intel Wild kicking everyone's ass today. Thank you so much. Oh, what bullshittery do we have today? Oh, wow. That one showed up yesterday, and it's long, and I don't like it. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow during the day around noon Eastern, all of you that are rightfully leaving. For the rest of you, sadists, here you go.
There's a way. We don't want to go to war today, but the Lord of the Land says, no, no, no. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where's the whip? There's a way. Where there's a whip, 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 there's a way. Left, right, left, left, right. Left, right, there's a way. Left, right, left, right, left. Where's the whip? There's a whip, there's a way. Attack on the back, still gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. But we are the slaves of the dark Lord's war.
Hate this. All right, one more. One more. I'm not singing. Irish folk. I know some Irish folk. They're good people.
To war today, but the Lord of the Lash says nay, nay, nay. We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where does the whip is away? Where does the whip? Where does the way? Where does the whip? Where does the way? We're gonna march all day, all day, all day. Where does the whip is away? Left, left. Back, so we're gonna fight. We're gonna march all day and night and more. For we are the slave of the dark Lord's war. Where's the whip? Where's the whip? Where's the whip? Where's the whip? Where's the whip?
We did it. We did it. Everybody got it out of their system. Nice. What a mess. Stupid whip songs. Oh, boy. What a good day, man. I'm a lucky guy. My family's the best. I love my son. I get to spend time with him. Tomorrow's his last day of preschool. Graduating preschool, baby. Pumped. We're going to do some fireworks tomorrow night. It's going to be great. That's right, wrongfully. You got it. At least we didn't have the Disney song. Totally true. Oh, day song? No. I don't want 2 whips from the Day Show. Please. We don't do that. What is this nonsense? The Day Show's its own thing. No whips on the Day Show. There was a revolt about that one time. Yeah, the Kyle Busch stuff's fucking nuts. It really is. I feel terrible. Someone said it was like, had to do with like driving with a sinus infection or some shit. I don't know if that's true. Just reading a couple things. So crazy stuff. Well, folks, I think the donos have stopped. We could all go to sleep. We're going to raid over to Chris Lestrange, who I see that's on. You tell me he has a weird mustache. Nah, he's a good guy. It'd be fun. I will see you all around noon tomorrow. Try to be analyzing the Fuentes debate with Steven Crowder. If someone has that debate, I don't know where, I'm sure I could look it up, but if someone puts it in the general chat in my Discord, that would help me be able to do it tomorrow. I want to thank my editor, Black Elk. I want to thank all of my moderators who are fantastic. Thank you so much to everyone who donated. Special thanks tonight on our good friend Intel Wild for $200 donation, but also everyone else that donated. Thank you so much. Thanks to everyone who chatted, who liked, who subbed on all platforms. Really appreciate you all. You know, we talked about like a lot of serious things, problems in academia, two-tier system of the law. We talked in that libertarian thing. Thanks, Chop Chop. I see that. We talked in the libertarian section that I covered there. Just how radical the left's become and what the stakes are. Nothing exemplifies that more than the assassination of Charlie Kirk and how they mocked him and his wife. So say a prayer for him and his family. Never forget when you watch that video that that's what they want for us. That's what the stakes are. And that's why we have to keep staying on the right side of things and keep pushing for a country that doesn't hate us and people like us. So thanks so much, everyone. I'll see you all around noon tomorrow. As always, have a good one.
Only in America is it possible to say, you know what, I don't like the way the country is going, and to do something about it. Take that risk. Take that leap of faith. Stay involved. Trust God and act obediently. Romans 12:2 verse. That God will use all things for good for those who love him. It's bigger than you. I want you to remember that. It is bigger than you. It's bigger than me. You are here to make somebody else's life better, the pursuit of liberty and freedom. You know what gives me strength? The hundreds of thousands of you that say, Charlie, keep going.
1 Corinthians 5 and 15. So that's all pretty amazing evidence, not just intra-biblical evidence, but extra-biblical evidence that Jesus Christ was a real person. He lived a perfect life. He was crucified, died, and rose on the third day, and he is Lord and God of all.